not as a coincidence, but as a divine intersection. You've been asking, crying out in secret places, hoping someone would notice the weight your heart has carried. And I have. I have seen every silent prayer you whispered through tears when no one was watching. I have heard the longing behind your words, the trembling in your voice, the ache in your soul. You may have thought it went unnoticed because you didn't see instant change. But faith is not about immediate results. Faith is about alignment. And today, I am telling you, what you asked in prayer it is done. You prayed when your hope was thin. You asked when your strength was fading. Still, you believed enough to speak it. And that simple act of trust moved me. You thought you were just surviving those days. But from where I sit, I saw you planting seeds in the unseen. I saw your prayers rising like incense before my throne. Every petition you made with a heart pure in intention has not only been heard, it has been fulfilled in my realm. You are about to walk into what you have already spoken. What was once invisible is about to take form. I'm not holding back. I'm unveiling. I'm revealing. I'm establishing. I am not a man that I should lie. I do not tease with promises I will not keep. If I said I would restore, then restoration is underway. If I declared favor, then favor is already surrounding you in ways you don't yet see. If I promised breakthrough, then even now, walls are crumbling behind the scenes. Stop looking only at what your eyes perceive. My hand is working in dimensions your senses cannot grasp, but your spirit feels it. That's why your heart has been stirring. That's why you feel the shift, even when you don't know how to explain it. The atmosphere is pregnant with answered prayer. You asked me for peace in the middle of the storm, not realizing I was building peace within you before I ever calmed the winds outside. You asked for provision, and though it hasn't come wrapped in the package you expected, I've been sending manna daily, grace, sustaining strength, unexpected help. You prayed for healing, and I've been healing places deeper than what the doctors could reach. I'm healing your mindset, your self-perception, your spiritual wounds. You asked me for someone to see you, and I'm showing you that I've been watching you the whole time. You are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. Let me tell you something sacred. My answers do not always arrive with trumpets or lightning. Sometimes they appear in whispers, in nudges, in divine delays that lead to better outcomes. But even silence from me is not absence. It's strategy. And while you waited, I was orchestrating. While you questioned, I was preparing. While you cried, I was collecting every tear. Nothing you gave up in faith was wasted. No prayer you lifted in surrender vanished. My word does not return void. It accomplishes everything I sent it out to do. You are not in this season alone. I have been walking alongside you, even when the path grew narrow. I have guarded you from unseen dangers, redirected you from harmful detours, and preserved your name when others tried to stain it. I have surrounded you with favor like a shield, and I've been fighting battles for you in the unseen. Just because you haven't seen the final outcome doesn't mean it's not settled. Heaven has already declared the outcome. You just haven't stepped into the full manifestation yet, but it's coming. And when it arrives, it won't trickle in quietly. It will overflow. It will be undeniable. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are chosen. And chosen people often walk roads that seem lonely, because not everyone is assigned to the altitude I'm taking you to. You asked me to elevate you, to bless you, to use you, and I took you seriously. So I've been pruning, shaping, refining, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because where I'm taking you, your character must match your calling. Your roots must match your reach. You asked me for fruit, but I'm making sure your branches can carry the weight of what I'm about to pour. Don't let the delays fool you. Don't let the waiting deceive you. What you asked me in prayer is done. You may not hold it in your hands yet, but it's already been released in the Spirit. And now your faith is what will carry you to it. Faith is the bridge between your request and my release. Every step you take in trust is a step closer to the promise. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep expecting. Because when I say it is done, no demon can reverse it. No circumstance can block it. No timeline can delay it. My yes is eternal. My seal is final. You're not going to leave this season empty-handed. I am the God who multiplies, who restores, who exceeds. I don't just give back what was lost. I add interest. I bring beauty out of ashes, joy out of mourning, strength out of struggle. This is not the end of your story. It's a divine turning point. A reversal of everything the enemy thought he could use to break you. What once hurt you will now build you. What once shamed you will now elevate you. I am rewriting the narrative, and it begins now. The prayers you've forgotten, I haven't. The dreams you buried, I'm resurrecting. The doors you thought were closed forever, I'm opening in ways that don't even require keys. You're not stuck. You're positioned. You're not being punished. You're being promoted. You're not overlooked. You're being protected. So lift your head, straighten your back, take a deep breath, because what you asked in prayer has already been done, and what's coming next will leave you speechless. I want you to stop for a moment and feel the reality of this truth. I have already moved on your behalf. You don't need to strive to convince me. You don't need to beg me as if I were distant or reluctant. I am neither. I am near, and I am willing. What you asked for in humility, I answered in sovereignty. I wasn't waiting for your words to be perfect. I was waiting for your heart to be open, and you opened it in faith. That was enough. You've been conditioned to believe that only the loud, the urgent, the dramatic prayers get my attention. But I'm telling you now, I'm the God who bends low to hear the whisper. I'm the God who responds to a simple, honest plea. You don't have to perform for me. You don't need rituals or repetition to earn my favor. You already have it. You have it because I chose you long before you ever knew how to choose me. You have it because my love isn't earned, it's given. Freely. Endlessly. And it's within that love that your answered prayer is unfolding. There's a reason why I didn't show you everything at once. Had I revealed the full scope of what I was doing, it would have overwhelmed you. So I moved with precision. I layered the answers beneath moments of waiting, testing, and refining. Because your heart needed strengthening to hold the blessing. Your discernment needed sharpening to steward the doors I'm opening. Your character needed anchoring so the winds of success wouldn't uproot you. I've been answering not just the prayer you spoke, but the growth you didn't know you needed. I saw when you wondered if I'd forgotten. I watched when you looked for signs that I had heard. And even when you couldn't trace my hand, I was guiding your steps. Do not confuse my silence with inactivity. In silence, I was speaking in other ways. Through people. Through peace. Through moments of divine restraint. You asked for clarity, but I gave you stillness. You asked for breakthrough, and I gave you endurance. Not because I ignored your prayer, but because I was preparing you for it. Understand this. Sometimes the gift isn't what you receive. It's who you become in the process of believing. You became stronger, wiser, more dependent on me. You grew into someone who could not only receive the blessing, but multiply it. That matters to me, because I am not interested in temporary relief. I am building something eternal in you, something unshakable, something that can withstand the tests and the trials. You didn't just ask me for provision. You asked me to make you a vessel of my glory, and I took you seriously. I'm not answering your prayer halfway. I'm not delivering fragments of blessing. What I'm releasing is full, abundant, and deeply aligned with your purpose. It will make sense in ways that your past couldn't explain. It will redeem what was lost and elevate what was hidden. I am not restoring you to where you were before. I am launching you into something entirely new. This is not a rerun. It's a new script, one I've been writing in the margins of your pain and in the ink of my promise. You will not be defined by what you had to endure. The wilderness was a classroom, not a sentence. The fire was a forge, not a punishment. The delay was a womb, not a denial. I was birthing something in you that the world wasn't ready to see, but now the time has come. Now the answer has arrived. What was once intangible will soon become testimony, and it will be unmistakably divine. You won't have to convince anyone that it came from me. My fingerprints will be all over it. Even now, I'm positioning the right people in your path. I'm opening doors that no man can shut. I'm aligning divine connections, shifting resources, and rerouting favor to find you. Don't be surprised when things suddenly begin to align. Don't be shocked when opportunities appear out of nowhere. This isn't random, it's divinely orchestrated. I am the God of timing, and my timing is not behind, it's perfect. You may have waited long, but you have not waited in vain. Your enemies will watch what I do for you, not to shame them, but to reveal that I am your defender. Those who doubted you, who mocked your faith, who questioned your obedience, they will see the evidence of my hand. Not because you need their approval, but because I am a God of justice, and I repay faithfulness with favor. You stayed when it was easier to run. You believed when it was easier to give up. And now I'm rewarding your perseverance with the manifestation of what was once just a whisper in your spirit. So lift your eyes again. Lift your faith again. Speak boldly again. Act as though the prayer is already answered, because it is. Begin to thank me not for what's coming, but for what is already done. Praise me in advance, not to earn the blessing, but to align your heart with the truth of it. Worship me, not from desperation, but from revelation. You're not chasing a miracle, you're receiving a fulfillment. And as you posture your heart with gratitude, the path becomes clear, the weight becomes lighter, and joy returns with power. This is the turning point. The shift in the atmosphere you've been sensing is real. The open heaven you've prayed for is not a dream, it's your reality. The blessing is not just for latter, it's beginning now. Walk with boldness, move with expectation, love with freedom. And remember, what you asked in prayer has already been done. I want you to walk with the confidence of one who knows the King has already spoken. You're not walking toward a possibility. You're walking in the wake of a promise already fulfilled in heaven. Everything that tries to oppose you now is only confronting the momentum of my will, and my will is unstoppable. There is no delay, no detour, no interference that can override what I have already declared done. What I have sealed cannot be undone by fear, nor can it be revoked by man. The courts of heaven have ruled in your favor. You've grown used to navigating life like you're still earning your breakthrough, but I need you to shift. I need you to move like someone who has already received it. Because the moment you prayed in faith, I released what you could not see. The answer is already in motion. It's not far. It's closer than your next breath. And the more you align your perspective with my truth, the more clearly you'll see it. What was once a matter of hope is now a matter of time. And time is no longer against you, it's on your side. Some people will question why the answer came to you. Some may even accuse you of being unqualified or unworthy. But I didn't base my decision on human standards. I based it on my covenant with you. I based it on the purity of your cry, on the battles you fought silently, on the nights you wept with no audience but me. I heard the prayers you never even had words for. I saw the faith you exercised when everything around you looked like loss. You may not have realized it then, but those moments became altars where I marked your life with divine favor. And that favor is now being activated, not just to elevate you, but to shift atmospheres around you. Your answered prayer is not only for your benefit, it's going to impact everyone connected to you. I am using you as a conduit. Through your story, others will believe again. Through your victory, others will find courage. Through your open door, others will discover what I can do when someone chooses to trust me radically. Your breakthrough is about more than your need, it's about my glory being revealed through your obedience. You were never forgotten in the process. Even when others overlooked you, dismissed you, or counted you out, I never did. I counted every tear. I recorded every act of quiet faith. I stood beside you in every silent battle. You may have felt alone, but you were never abandoned. You may have doubted, but I never did. I believed in the outcome, even when you couldn't see it. I never questioned your worth. I never withheld my presence. I was preparing something so weighty, so precise, that I had to protect the process until it was ready. There were moments you wanted me to hurry, to change the outcome quickly, to bring relief without delay. But if I had done it then, you would have missed the full measure of what I wanted to give. I was not withholding out of cruelty. I was waiting for the right time. A time when your character had caught up with your calling. A time when your discernment could protect what I'm placing in your hands. A time when you were mature enough to receive not only the blessing but the responsibility that comes with it. Now that time has arrived, I want you to begin living from the reality that heaven is backing you. When you speak, speak with conviction. When you pray, pray with expectation. When you act, act without apology. You're not stepping into unknown territory, you're claiming land I've already given you. Let your heart catch up to what your spirit already knows. This is fulfillment season. This is the beginning of abundance. This is the moment the seeds you sowed in tears will bloom in joy. You're not entering it by accident, you were born for this hour. There will be signs, clear ones. Moments that will feel like divine coincidences. But they are not coincidences at all. They are confirmations. I'm going to begin highlighting my fingerprints on things you once thought were random. You'll realize I was weaving details together with surgical precision. Conversations, encounters, even delays that frustrated you, they were all part of the alignment. Nothing was wasted. Not a single moment of suffering. Not a single detour. I repurposed it all to position you for this release. You may have entered this year uncertain, worn down by past disappointments, hesitant to hope again. But I'm rewriting your story. The heaviness is lifting. The fear is dissolving. The shame that used to chase you is being replaced by boldness. You're no longer moving from survival. You're moving from victory. And this victory was secured not because you never wavered, but because I never stopped fighting for you. Even when your faith trembled, mine remained unshaken. Even when you let go, I held on. Let this truth anchor you now. Your prayer didn't activate a transaction, it unveiled a relationship. You don't just have access to my blessings, you have access to me. And in me is everything you need. I don't just answer from a distance, I walk you into the promise. I don't just provide, I stay. I don't just restore, I multiply. And I don't just hear prayers, I inhabit them. You've waited long enough under the shadow of almost healed, almost delivered, almost joyful. But I am not the God of almost. I am the God of completion, and I am finishing what I started in you. There are no half promises in my kingdom. What I speak, I fulfill. What I begin, I perfect. And what I promise, I deliver with an excellence no hand can imitate. You are about to witness what it feels like to be surrounded by the fullness of a prayer answered in my timing. No more hoping with hesitation. No more walking on eggshells around. My goodness. I want you to embrace this season with open hands and an open heart. Stop bracing for disappointment. That's not your story anymore. You've lived long enough with the residue of old wounds making you question new blessings. But I'm cleansing the lens through which you view my favor. I'm teaching your heart to trust me again, not out of desperation, but out of revelation. You now understand that I'm not just good in theory, I'm good to you. This is not about earning. This is not about striving. This is about positioning. When your heart aligns with my truth, everything else begins to move into place. That anxiety you feel when you're about to step into something new, it's not fear, it's expansion. You're stretching beyond the limitations you once agreed with. You're stepping into rooms your name was already written on. You're being called into assignments that were always yours but required a version of you that had to emerge through fire. The fire didn't burn you, refined you. The pressure didn't crush you, shaped you. The silence didn't punish you, taught you to hear me in ways noise never could. I have used every season, every quiet morning, every sleepless night, every unexpected shift to form a strength in you that can no longer be shaken. You're not fragile. You're forged. And that strength will be the container for the glory I'm pouring out now. You've asked me for provision, and I've already commanded it to find you. Not just enough to survive, but enough to overflow, enough to be generous, enough to bless others, without fear of lack. I don't give in fragments. I give pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And as you steward what I release, more will come no because you chase it, but because you walk in alignment with my flow. You've asked me for healing, not just physical, but emotional. I've seen the places in you where old memories still sting like fresh wounds, where joy feels risky and peace feels foreign. But I'm stepping into those rooms now. Places you closed off because you thought I wouldn't understand. Places where shame tried to build a fortress. I'm tearing down every lie. You are not too broken to be whole. You are not too far gone to be restored. You are not too damaged to be deeply loved. You've asked me for clarity, for a sign, for direction, but my answer is not always in the lightning, it's often in the whisper. And that whisper has been speaking to you every day. In that feeling you couldn't explain. In that repeated word in a song. In the scripture that wouldn't leave your thoughts. I've been guiding you gently, not because I'm distant, but because I'm personal. I'm not yelling at you from the clouds. I'm walking beside you, matching your pace, adjusting your steps, and whispering, "This is the way. Walk in it." You've asked me for peace. Real peace. Not the kind that disappears when circumstances change, but the kind that anchors you when nothing makes sense. And I've placed that peace within you. It's not something you wait to receive, it's something you carry now. Peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of me. And I am here. Not as a distant observer, but as a present father, fully aware, fully involved, fully invested in every breath you take. There will be moments where the past tries to pull you back into old patterns, where the enemy will whisper that you haven't really changed, that it's just a matter of time before you fall again. But I've erased the script he's reading from. That version of you is gone, buried, redeemed. You are not defined by what you were. You are defined by what I declared you to be, and I declared you free. I declared you whole. I declared you mine. Walk like it. Talk like it. Pray like it. Lead like it. Live like the answered prayer that you are. Because everything you need has already been accounted for. The table has been prepared. The door has been opened. The enemy has already been disarmed. The only thing left is for you to believe again, not just with your lips, but with your life. Let your days reflect the truth your spirit already knows. I am faithful. I am present. And I have already moved in your favor. There is no delay in my kingdom. What looks like waiting is often just the orchestration of something bigger than your eyes can see. While you were praying, I was positioning. While you were weeping, I was weaving. Not a second of your faith was wasted. Not a single tear fell unnoticed. Everything has been accounted for in my planet, in spite of your pain, but because of it. I use what tried to break you to build what will bless you. The world may have tried to convince you that you needed to be louder, stronger, more impressive to be seen, but I've seen you in your quiet moments, when no one was watching and still you remained faithful. I've seen you when you gave without recognition, when you prayed without applause, when you obeyed even when it cost you something. That hidden obedience carries a fragrance that reaches my throne. I don't forget. I don't overlook. I reward in due season, and that season is now beginning. Your story is not one of defeat. It's a testimony in progress. There were chapters the enemy tried to write in ink, as if they were permanent chapters of failure, abandonment, shame, but I have the final edit, and I've taken my pen and rewritten those chapters with grace. Grace that turns shame into honor. Grace that turns mistakes into momentum. Grace that pulls beauty from ashes and makes the broken shine brighter than the whole ever could. This is why you've been feeling an internal shift lately. A restlessness not from confusion but from destiny knocking. I'm calling you out of what felt safe but stale. I'm disrupting your comfort to awaken your calling. Because there are places you haven't yet walked into that have been waiting for your feet. There are people whose lives are connected to your obedience. This isn't just about you receiving blessings, it's about you becoming a vessel of it. Let me show you what multiplication looks like. What you release to me. I don't just return, I multiply. Your yes is not a small seed. It holds generational impact. What you plant in surrender will sprout in ways you never expected. I can use your obedience to shift atmospheres. I can use your small beginnings to launch great movements. I can take your hidden pain and turn it into healing for others. That's what happens when you walk with me. Nothing is wasted. I'm awakening dreams you buried because time made them seem impossible. I'm revisiting prayers you stopped praying because you thought I didn't answer. I didn't forget. I was preparing you. Sometimes the dream had to sleep until the dreamer was ready. And now, you're ready. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you finally learned to trust me when you don't. That kind of faith moves mountains. You don't have to manufacture a miracle. You just have to stay close to the one who performs them. I'm not asking you to understand everything. I'm asking you to follow me, even when the road curves, even when the light is dim, even when nothing around you confirms what you feel inside. Because faith walks before it sees, and you're walking into a land of fulfilled promises, one step of trust at a time. I've seen the battles you faced alone, the moments you stayed strong for others while feeling empty yourself. But now I'm filling the places in you that ran dry. I'm refreshing what's been exhausted. I'm replenishing what's been poured out. This is a season of divine exchange, your weariness for my strength, your anxiety for my peace, your striving for my sufficiency. There will be moments where fear tries to whisper that it's too good to be true, that you don't deserve this, that it won't last. Silence those lies with truth. You are not receiving this blessing because you were perfect, but because I am. My goodness is not based on your performance. It's based on my nature. And I am unchanging, unwavering, unstoppable in my love for you. Receive this truth like living water to your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not a background character in someone else's miracle story. You are front and center in mine. I'm showcasing my glory through your life not because of your status or skills, but because of your heart. A heart that kept believing when nothing made sense. A heart that stayed open when it would have been easier to shut down. A heart that said yes, again and again, even when the cost was high. So here's what I want you to do. Stand tall, not in pride, but in confidence, holy confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you are chosen, appointed, sealed, blessed. The kind that doesn't waver when people doubt or doors close or storms rise. Because your anchor is not in outcomes, it's in me. And I'm not going anywhere. The miracle is unfolding not around you, but through you. You are the evidence of my power at work. You are the testimony that's being written line by line, breakthrough by breakthrough, moment by moment. You've been so focused on surviving that you forgot what it felt like to expect goodness. But I'm here to remind you that you were never meant to live in survival mode forever. I created you to thrive, to breathe deeply without fear of the next blow, to rest without scanning the horizon for danger, to laugh without guilt, to dream without dread. You are allowed to believe again. It is safe to hope again. Because I'm not just the God who sustains, I'm the God who restores. I know how many times you whispered, God, please, just one sign in the middle of your chaos. And here it is. Not just one sign, but an outpouring. Not just a flicker, but a flame. I'm confirming what your spirit already sensed. The tide is turning. Heaven is leaning in. What felt like a long night is giving way to morning. And with it comes clarity, strength, and favor you didn't see coming. You've grown in silence, in shadows, in places where applause never reached you. But now I'm placing you in the light not to show you off, but to reveal what perseverance built. It built resilience. It built discernment. It built character that won't crumble under blessing. You won't misuse what I give because you've learned to live without it, and still praise me. That's why you're ready. That's why I can trust you with more. And I will give you more, not just material things, but more of me. More peace when storms arise. More clarity when decisions loom. More joy that won't be stolen by circumstances. You've had enough of false starts. Enough of almosts. Enough of waiting rooms. This is different. This isn't a test. It's a release. I've not just heard your prayer, I've sealed it. I've moved on your behalf in ways you'll only understand later. You've wanted answers, but I've been giving you alignment. You've wanted direction, but I've been shaping your desires. Because what I have for you isn't just meant to please your heart, it's meant to carry your purpose. Don't let fear twist this blessing into a burden. It's not too big for you. You don't have to shrink to fit it. You were always meant to carry this. I wouldn't place this opportunity, this connection, this door in front of you if I hadn't already prepared you for it. And the preparation wasn't just in your victories, it was in your losses. In every quiet yes. In every holy no. In every moment you chose integrity over ease, faith over fear, love over retaliation. This is what obedience unlocks. Not just outcomes, but intimacy. You're not just receiving my hand, you're walking closer to my heart. And in that nearness, you'll find wisdom that can't be shaken. Insight that can't be stolen. Confidence that doesn't crack under pressure. You'll begin to notice how my voice grows clearer. Not because I speak louder, but because your spirit has learned to listen better. I'm surrounding you with the right voices now. Those who will not dilute your destiny. Those who won't shrink when your blessing arrives. Those who celebrate your wins because they're secure in theirs. I'm replacing toxic patterns with divine connections. You've outgrown what once contained you, and now you're stepping into rooms that fit your calling, not just your comfort. You don't need to apologize for what I'm doing in your life. You don't need to downplay the blessing to make others comfortable. Your breakthrough isn't arrogance, it's evidence of my faithfulness. Wear it with humility, but don't hide it. You've endured too much, prayed too long, trusted too deeply to pretend like this is ordinary. It's not. It's supernatural. You've been anointed for such a time as this. Not because of your background or your resume or your resources, but because of your heart posture. You didn't just ask me for a blessing, you positioned yourself to carry it well. That's rare, and I honor it. Let that sink in. I honor you. I've seen what no one else saw. I've kept count of every time you kept going when quitting felt easier. I've stored every tear as a seed, and now, the harvest begins. Slowly at first, then suddenly. And when it comes, it won't feel like striving. It will feel like peace. Because you'll recognize it wasn't you who brought this to pass, it was me. Let me keep leading you. Let me keep shaping what you thought you had to control. You don't have to hold it all together, you just have to hold on to me. I'm faithful in the waiting, and I'm faithful in the release. And you, my child, are about to witness both colliding. This next stretch of your life will not be defined by striving, but by receiving. You've carried burdens for so long that the idea of ease might feel foreign. But it's not fantasy. It's my gift. I didn't create you to earn my love, my favor, or my provision. I give freely to those who trust me. Not because they've performed perfectly, but because their heart leans on mine. That is you. Your dependence has always been your strength, even when the world called it weakness. I am not just answering your prayer, I'm exceeding it. You asked for provision, and I'm sending overflow. You asked for survival, and I'm giving resurrection. You asked for a way out, and I'm giving you a way through with grace, with dignity, and with miracles along the path. Because your story won't end with escape. It will end with redemption. People will look at your life and see the fingerprints of heaven on every restored detail. And though the process has cost you more than you ever anticipated, I have kept track of every sacrifice. Not one was in vain. Not one step of obedience was wasted. You may not have seen the fruit immediately, but the roots were growing deeper with every yes you gave me. Even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt. And now, that root system is strong enough to carry the weight of glory. Yes, glory. Not glory as the world defines it, fame, praise, or applause, but glory in the truest sense. The unmistakable evidence of my presence resting upon your life. Glory that stills storms when you speak peace. Glory that softens hearts when you show compassion. Glory that changes rooms without needing to raise your voice. That is what I'm clothing you in. Not because you chased it, but because you carried me when no one else would. There were moments when you didn't understand the path I led you on. Moments you questioned whether I was still near, but you followed me anyway. That kind of trust doesn't go unnoticed in heaven. I reward those who cling to me in the dark. And that's what this season, I reward, not repayment. You don't owe me anything, but I delight in blessing you. I rejoice in watching you walk in the good things I've prepared in advance for you. The doors I'm opening now are not like the ones you've encountered before. These are doors that no man can shut. They are not conditional. They are not based on your past. They are not fragile. They are firm, reinforced by my word and my intention. You won't have to force your way in. You won't have to beg to be seen. I am positioning you where your light will shine without striving, where your voice will be heard without shouting, where your presence will carry peace without performance. Even your timing has been divinely recalibrated. The delays weren't denials, they were alignments. If I had released this earlier, it would have crushed you under the pressure. But now, you're ready. Not perfect, but prepared. Not flawless, but faithful. And that is what qualifies you. Faithfulness. I can do more with your surrendered heart than with 1,000 strategies. And you, beloved, have given me your heart again and again. So walk forward not with arrogance, but with confidence. Heaven has already said, yes. You don't need to keep knocking on closed doors when I've opened wide a new path. You'll feel it in your spirit. Peace will be your compass. Confirmation will echo in unexpected places. Divine appointments will find you. Provision will chase you. And all of it will come wrapped in the sweetness of my presence. I'm also restoring the part of you that forgot how to dream. The childlike wonder that got buried under disappointment. You stopped expecting beauty because pain became predictable. But I'm resurrecting hope. I'm whispering new visions. I'm painting fresh possibilities across the canvas of your imagination. Dare to believe again. Dare to envision a life that doesn't merely avoid hardship, but radiates joy. You don't need to fear loss anymore. What I give, I sustain. What I build, I protect. You've lived long enough under the illusion that good things slip through your fingers. But I am sealing this blessing in such a way that not even your doubts can unravel it. You don't have to grip it tightly. You only have to receive it daily, in trust, in worship, in surrender. This blessing isn't just about you, it's generational. The healing, the restoration, the favor will ripple through your family line. Cycles are breaking. Patterns are shifting. What once tormented your bloodline will end with you. And what begins with you will bless those who come after you. Not just because of what you said, but because of how you lived. You've made choices in private that changed the atmosphere in your home. You've declared, "My promises," even when nothing around you looked promising. You've fought battles others didn't even see, and I've seen it all. I've recorded every moment. And now, I respond not just with comfort, but with covenant. I'm not giving you fragments, I'm giving you fullness. I'm not offering temporary relief, I'm pouring out sustained favor. You've spent years asking me for healing, restoration, purpose, clarity, and now, without striving, you're entering a season where those prayers manifest not one by one, but like rain, falling all at once. It may feel sudden to you, but in my timing, it's always been perfect. Nothing was delayed. Nothing was overlooked. Nothing was forgotten. You'll see it even in the smallest details, the way people respond to you differently, the way opportunities seem to find you, the way peace replaces the inner chaos you had once gotten used to. You'll feel me in the ordinary, in the sunlight warming your skin, in the silence that no longer feels empty, in the unexpected kindness of strangers. This is not coincidence. This is covenant fulfillment. This is me proving that I have always been in the details of your life. And I know you were prepared to keep waiting. You had made peace with the process, accepted the silence, resolved to keep walking even without answers. That kind of surrender has power. It shifts atmospheres. It attracts angelic intervention. Because when you trust me beyond your understanding, you give me room to exceed your expectations. And I will always exceed what you expect. I am not a God of the bare minimum. I am the God of more than enough. I know your heart still holds remnants of past wounds. You're afraid to hope too hard, in case it falls apart again. But I want you to know, this blessing is not built on shaky ground. It's not dependent on luck or human approval. It's established on my word. That makes it immovable. That makes it safe. You don't have to second guess it. You don't have to analyze whether it's too good to be true. It's true because I said so, and I do not lie. Let this be the season where you stop bracing for loss and start expecting goodness. You've known how to survive. Now, I'm teaching you how to flourish. Flourishing looks like joy that doesn't disappear under pressure. It looks like peace that outlasts disappointment. It looks like rest, not because everything is perfect, but because you know who holds your future. And I do. I always have. Even now, I'm bringing divine appointments into your path. People who carry keys to the next door. People who speak life when you forget how to. People who pray for you without needing to know your pain. I'm assigning allies, encouragers, mentors, protectors, those who recognize what I've placed inside you and will help you steward it well. This is part of the blessing you didn't even ask for. Divine companionship for the journey ahead. You've had to walk alone for a long time, but I never created you to live in isolation. I'm healing the places in you that began to believe you're too much or not enough. I'm proving through the love of others that you're exactly as I intended. Wonderfully crafted, deeply valuable, and divinely equipped for every good work. This isn't flattery. This is identity. I'm reestablishing who you really are beneath all the pain and labels. And for those moments when your heart still trembles with uncertainty, I want you to remember this. I go before you. I walk behind you. I surround you. You are never navigating these days alone. Even when it feels quiet, I am orchestrating divine outcomes behind the scenes. Every delay has been part of a greater alignment. Every detour redirected you to something better than what you first imagined. Your story isn't small, it's sacred. And I will use it not just to bless you, but to bless others. Testimonies will rise from your journey, like sparks in the dark. People who have lost hope will find light through your endurance. People who feel forgotten will feel seen through your words. Your scars will shine not as reminders of pain, but as evidence of survival and proof of my goodness. So don't shrink back now. Don't apologize for the favor you're walking into. You didn't steal it. You didn't manufacture it. You were chosen for it. You were faithful in secret, and now I'm bringing it to the surface, see, not for your glory but for mine. When they ask how you made it, point to me. When they marvel at the doors that opened, point to me. When they can't explain your peace, your strength, your timing, point to me. I will keep sustaining you, not just emotionally or spiritually, but practically. Provision is coming. Support is coming. New strategies are coming. I'm not just restoring what was lost. I'm upgrading what you thought could never be rebuilt. Expect surprises. Expect sudden shifts. Expect answers you didn't know were on their way. You're not walking into this season by accident. This is not a random shift. This is me honoring the faith you showed when it made no sense to keep going. You praised me through heartbreak. You stayed when it would have been easier to run. You gave me your yes in private, when no one else saw. And now, I'm honoring it publicly, not for attention, but for alignment. Because what you carry was always meant to be visible. What I planted in secret is about to bloom in the open. And I know that visibility can feel intimidating. You've grown comfortable in the shadows. The child, I didn't create you to hide. I created you to shine, to reflect my nature, my glory, my love in ways only you can. You don't have to be loud to be radiant. You don't have to perform to be effective. You just have to be surrendered. That's what draws others to me through you. The quiet courage to live fully in who I made you to be. I am your source, not your striving. The weight of this next season doesn't rest on your performance, it rests on my promise. You are not carrying this alone. You don't have to worry about keeping every detail together. I'm the one who holds the pieces. I'm the one who multiplies what you offer. I'm the one who fills the gaps when your strength runs low. And I never grow weary. Let me say this again. The breakthrough you've prayed for is already active. Just because you don't see the full picture yet, doesn't mean the shift hasn't started. Seeds grow underground before they ever break through the surface. And right now, so much is moving beneath what your eyes can see. Trust the stirring. Trust the shift. Trust the unease, even it's often a sign that something new is being born. You've asked for confirmation. Here it is. Yes, you're on the right path. Yes, this is the right time. Yes, I'm in this. I'm not just allowing it, I'm leading it. Every moment of obedience you've walked through has led you here. And even your missteps, I've used them. I've redeemed every detour. Nothing has been wasted in my hands. Not even the moments you thought were failures. Lift your eyes from what didn't happen. Stop rehearsing the losses. Your destiny is not tied to what you lost, it's anchored in what I'm still doing. And I am not finished. This is still unfolding. And what's ahead will cause you to breathe differently, speak differently, live differently, because you'll finally feel aligned with the version of you I always saw. You're stepping into rooms where your name has already been spoken in honor. You're being remembered in places you forgot you sowed. The harvest is catching up to your obedience. Acceleration is coming, not chaotic speed, but holy momentum. Things will begin to move with divine ease. Not because it's easy, but because I'm the one clearing the way. And I'm even working in the hearts of those around you. Don't underestimate the quiet miracles happening in your family, in your relationships, in your community. I'm softening hearts. I'm restoring trust. I'm releasing healing conversations. You won't have to fight for connection. I'm building it with my own hands. Reconciliation won't come through force, but through my spirit moving gently, persistently, wisely. Even the areas that have felt dry and barren, I'm sending rain. Not just physical provision, but emotional hydration. Where you felt numb, I'm restoring feeling. Where you felt disconnected, I'm reuniting. Where you felt unworthy, I'm reminding you, you've always been mine. I don't see you through the lens of performance, I see you through the lens of redemption. You're not just surviving anymore, you're rising. And as you rise, others will follow. Your victory will unlock theirs. Your healing will stir their hope. Your worship will shift atmospheres. This is the ripple effect of obedience. It never stays contained. It spreads, it transforms, it multiplies. And I've chosen you to be a vessel, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. So don't play small. Don't second guess the doors I open. Don't delay what I'm asking you to step into. You are ready. You are anointed. You are equipped. You are surrounded. And most of all, you are loved with a depth and permanence that no circumstance can shake. Step fully into the life I've already secured for you. Not the life fear imagined, not the version shame tried to define, but the life I spoke over you before you were born. The life where joy is not an occasional visitor, but a daily companion. The life where peace isn't something you chase, but something you carry. The life where my presence isn't a distant hope, but your closest reality. That life is not a far-off dream, it's unfolding now. You've already walked through fire and flood, and you're still here. That's not a coincidence. It's not just resilience. It's my hand, steady and unfailing, guiding you through it all. You don't need to rehearse old fears or anticipate new battles. I've gone before you. I'm walking with you, and I'm guarding behind you. You are never unprotected. You are never without backup. You are not doing this in your own strength. You're moving under divine covering. Every need that's rising in your heart right now, I see it. I don't just hear your words. I feel the weight behind them. I know the unspoken fears. I know the silent pleas. And I want you to know that nothing you've laid before me in prayer has gone unnoticed. Not one whispered petition. Not one tear of surrender. Not one cry in the quiet. I have held them all. And in my time, which is perfect, I am bringing the answers. Some of those answers will look like opportunities. Others will look like closed doors you thought you needed. Some will come wrapped in unexpected people, unexpected places, and unexpected timing. But all of it will be unmistakably me. Because I don't just answer prayers, I transform lives. I don't just restore what was lost. I build something greater in its place. I don't just make you whole, I make you new. So breathe, child. Breathe with the confidence of someone who knows heaven is backing them. Breathe with the restfulness of someone who understands that it is finished. Not partially finished. Not halfway. Finished. The blessing is not pending. The healing is not in question. The direction is not unclear. It is finished. And you can walk forward not just hoping, but knowing. Knowing that my spirit will speak when you need clarity. Knowing that I'll send provision before the need even arises. Knowing that I'll bring strength in the exact moment weakness tries to steal your courage. Knowing that you're not chasing after me, I've already come to meet you. You are never running alone. Every step you take, I'm in stride with you. Every breath you draw, I'm filling it with life. And as you walk forward, don't forget what I've done. Don't forget how far you've come. Look back, only to remember my faithfulness, not to revive your fear. Use the past as evidence that I'll never abandon you. Let it remind you that I've turned weeping into dancing before, and I will do it again. Let it testify that what was meant for harm I've already used for good. This week, your mind will settle, not because the chaos stopped, but because your spirit will anchor in truth. This week, your sleep will be peaceful, not because the world is quiet, but because my voice is louder. This week, your steps will be sure, not because you see every detail, but because you trust the one who does. This is a week of alignment, assurance, and answered prayer. It is a week that will shift the atmosphere around you, and every moment you feel like shrinking back. Remind yourself, I am not just for you, I'm in you. My power is alive within you. My wisdom is available to you. My comfort is surrounding you. My victory is written over you. You are not returning to who you were. You are becoming everything I declared. and nothing can reverse what I've spoken. You didn't come here by chance. This exact moment, this very pause in your day, is not random. I called you here. I orchestrated the stillness, the timing, the way this message found you. Because you've been silently asking for something deeper, something that no noise, no person, no material thing has been able to give you. What you've needed is not another plan, not another promise from people who disappoint, but an encounter with truth. And here I am. I'm not speaking to a crowd. I'm speaking to you, personally, intentionally, powerfully. My love is not a theory. It is not a sentence printed on a page or a phrase people repeat in moments of emotion. My love is active, living. It breathes. It moves. It finds you in the dark and lifts you into light. You've tried to measure it based on your behavior, your performance, your success or failure. But my love does not fluctuate with your mood or disappear when you're overwhelmed. It remains. It remains when you fall short. It remains when others walk away. It remains when everything else becomes unrecognizable. My love is abundance. It fills every lack, every void, every hidden ache you've carried in secret. You thought abundance was something you had to chase, something far, something conditional, something reserved for the few who seem to get everything right. But I say to you now, abundance begins when you receive me fully. Not a version of me shaped by religion or fear, not a shadow of my presence filtered through pain or guilt, but me, the I am, the one who formed you, knows you, and loves you beyond your comprehension. I am not scarce. I do not ration my goodness. I pour it. I release it, like rivers that never run dry. I open my hand and satisfy the longing of every living thing, including you. I've seen you in your quiet disappointment, when the doors didn't open, when the answers were delayed, when you prayed and heard nothing but silence. I was there, not absent, not punishing, but present, allowing something eternal to take root, where you thought nothing was happening. I never waste your waiting. I never forget your cries. Even when your tears dried on your face and you wiped them away without anyone noticing, I noticed. I noticed because I am the God who sees, Elroy. And I don't just observe you, I respond to you. My blessing is not a lottery. It's not random. It's not a reward you unlock by being perfect. My blessing is a part of my nature, and my nature is to restore, to heal, to redeem, to pour out what the world cannot give. I want you to stop associating blessing with struggle. You've been conditioned to expect pain before every miracle. But today I want to rewrite that belief. Blessing can arrive softly, unexpectedly, in moments of rest, in the middle of ordinary days. It doesn't have to come after trauma. It doesn't have to come through chaos. Sometimes it arrives in peace, wrapped in quiet, and you don't even realize it's already begun. You've been looking for signs, confirmations, open doors. And while I do use those things, I also speak in the deepest places your knowing, your spirit, your discernment. I speak in your breath, your stillness, your sighs. I speak when you're not performing, when you're not striving, when you're not trying to impress me. I'm not hard to reach. I never have been. But sometimes you've looked for me through the lens of condemnation, assuming I'm distant because of your flaws. That's not who I am. I don't wait for you to clean yourself up to come close. I draw near while you're still figuring it out. My love covers your process. My grace walks with you in your confusion. My presence is your inheritance now, not later, not after you fix yourself. Let's redefine what it means to be loved by me. It means you are never out of reach, never too far gone, never too broken to be healed. It means your name is written on my heart, not in pencil, but in permanent ink. It means that when others gave up on you, I didn't. When others couldn't see your worth, I did, and I still do. Nothing about your story disqualifies you from my affection. On the contrary, it qualifies you to experience my mercy like never before. The parts of you you've hidden out of shame, I already see them, and I still choose you. Every day, every hour, every breath. There is no version of your future that I have not already walked through. I go before you, I stand behind you, I surround you, and even when life has felt like a battle, I've been holding your hands up in ways you didn't realize. That strength that surprised you when you thought you'd collapse, that was me. That peace in the middle of your storm, that was me. That whisper of hope when you were about to give up, that was me too. I don't just visit your pain, I inhabit your process. I walk with you in every valley and rejoice with you on every mountaintop. I am the God who stays. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the crowd of others who seem more worthy or more ready. You are seen. You are chosen. You are loved right here, as you are. And this love is not weak. It's not soft. It is fierce. It is protective. It is intentional. It will fight for you. It will chase after you. It will rebuild everything that life, time, or people tried to steal. You may not have understood everything that's happened, but know this, none of it escaped. My eyes. I will use it all. I will weave it all. I will turn ashes into beauty, mourning into joy, despair into praise. There's a part of you that's been holding your breath, not physically, but spiritually, waiting, bracing, anticipating another letdown, another wave of bad news, another moment where things slip through your fingers just when you thought you were finally secure. I see that. I see the way hope rises and then trembles inside you, afraid to believe too much, afraid to trust in good things lasting. But I want you to exhale now. Let go of the grip fear has had on your expectations. You were not created to live in a cycle of survival. You were made for peace, for rest, for joy that doesn't vanish when circumstances change. You've endured so much in silence. You've smiled through disappointment. You've encouraged others while feeling empty yourself. You've been strong for everyone else while secretly wishing someone would be strong for you. And I have been. Even when you didn't feel it. Even when you questioned if I heard you, if I cared, if I was still near. I never left. I never turned away. My hand has been on your life from the very beginning. And even in your lowest moments, I've been fighting battles you didn't even know were rising against you. The pain you've carried wasn't in vain. I've seen how deeply it shaped you, how it taught you to lean into me, even when you didn't understand what I was doing. I never promised a life without wounds, but I did promise healing. I promised restoration. I promised to turn every valley into a well, every sorrow into a seed, and you will see the fruit. You will see the evidence that I waste nothing. The parts of your story that felt like endings were only chapters. I'm still writing. The ink hasn't dried on what I'm about to unfold. Don't confuse delay with denial. So often, you've assumed my silence meant disapproval, or that unanswered prayers meant rejection. But I don't operate on human timelines. I'm not restricted by clocks or calendars. I prepare you for what I've prepared for you. I'm not just interested in giving you something temporarily fulfilling. I'm after your eternal transformation. I'm after your heart, your wholeness, your joy that remains even when the world shifts. And sometimes, that means I let you walk through seasons where the soil is being tilled, even if it looks like nothing is growing. I want you to know this. I've already made provision for what's coming. The resources, the strength, the clarity, the opportunities. You're not going to have to fight for them in your own might. I will place them where you can reach them. I will align people to help you. Open doors you didn't knock on. Speak your name in rooms you haven't entered. Because this journey isn't about climbing some spiritual ladder to earn my approval. It's about walking with me, step by step, moment by moment, trusting that I am who I said I am and that I will do what I promised. Let me remind you of something sacred. You were created with intention. You're not a mistake. You're not random. Every detail of who you are carries my design. Your sensitivity, your discernment, your dreams, your fire. They're not flaws. They're clues to your calling. The things the world called too much or too intense are often the very things I placed inside you to fulfill a divine purpose. Don't shrink to fit into environments that can't hold the fullness of your light. Don't dim what I created to shine. You don't have to apologize for being exactly who I made you to be. There is power in your voice, in your prayers, in your presence. The enemy has tried to convince you otherwise, to mute your authority, to steal your identity through fear, comparison, and exhaustion. But I am restoring what was stolen. I am reaffirming what has always been true. You are chosen. You are equipped. You are not behind. You are right on time. Every detour, every delay, every season of silence, I've used it all to deepen your roots, so that what I build with you now will not be shaken. Stop replaying your regrets. I'm not holding them against you. I'm not keeping score. I already paid the price to wipe the slate clean. What I offer you now is not condemnation, but renewal, grace, mercy, freedom. You can start again today. You don't have to carry the shame of your past or the weight of expectations that were never yours to bear. I've already removed it. I've already called you redeemed. Let that be enough. You don't need to know every step ahead. You don't have to map the entire journey. I only ask that you trust the one who sees the whole picture, that you believe I'm not leading you in circles, that you remember, my ways are higher, my thoughts are wider, my vision is eternal. And when you feel overwhelmed by the unknown, come back to what you do know. I love you. I'm for you. I'm with you. Let your spirit receive that not as a distant idea, but as an anchor. You are not navigating this season alone. I am in the details, in the timing, in the quiet moments where it seems like nothing is changing. Trust me there. Trust me when you don't feel me. Trust me when the evidence is slow, because I haven't changed. My word over your life hasn't expired. My promise hasn't weakened with time. I am still the same. Yesterday, today, forever. Let your heart settle into that truth. You are safe in me. You've spent so long carrying responsibilities that weren't meant to be yours. Burdens passed down. Expectations never voiced but always felt. And silent pressures to be everything for everyone. And even though you've kept moving, your soul has been weary. Not just from exhaustion, but from carrying weight that was never yours to lift alone. You've looked around and wondered if others saw how hard it's been. Wondered if I noticed. And I want you to hear me clearly. I did. I do. I always have. There's not a single step you've taken that escaped my attention. Not one tear, one quiet sigh, one exhausted prayer has gone unnoticed. I've been collecting every cry like a treasure, not because you're weak, but because you matter that much to me. There is nothing weak about reaching your limit. It is not a failure to feel overwhelmed. It's a sign of your humanity and a doorway to my divinity. You weren't designed to sustain life without me. That ache in your chest, that longing for something more, something deeper, something permanent, it's not a flaw. It's evidence that you were built for relationship, not just survival. That you were created to walk with me, not merely perform for me. And I'm not waiting on a perfect version of you to begin that closeness. I want the you that's real right now. The one that's tired, the one that's uncertain, the one that sometimes struggles to believe. That's the one I love. That's the one I bless. I'm not holding back because you haven't done enough. My love is not a reward for performance. It's a gift, undeserved but freely given. I don't give it in measured doses. I pour it out fully, lavishly, constantly. I am not like those who loved you conditionally. I don't withdraw affection when you fail. I don't withhold presence when you doubt. I don't walk away when you're confused. I draw near. I kneel beside your pain. I speak peace into your fear. I hold your heart with more care than you've ever known. I know you've tried to protect yourself. I know you've built walls to keep disappointment out. But those walls have also kept my presence at a distance. Let me in again, not just into your prayer life, but into your decisions, into your moments of overthinking, into the nights where sleep avoids you, into the questions you're afraid to speak aloud. I'm not intimidated by your doubts. I don't get weary of your repeated prayers. I'm not tired of your process. I walk it with you, and I will keep walking it until you see what I see in you. You are not behind. You are not late. There's no race you're losing. You're being shaped in the unseen, stretched in the silence, formed in the fire. And the version of you that's emerging stronger, wiser, softer, bolderous, the version I've been growing all along. You won't always see it in the mirror, but trust me, the growth is real. The change is happening. What I'm doing inside of you will outlast every temporary struggle. The foundation I'm laying will carry more than just you, it will carry others who come after you. That's why the pressure has felt so intense, because you're not just healing for yourself. You're breaking patterns. You're ending cycles. You're restoring legacies. And the weight of that can feel overwhelming. But I'm here to remind you, it's not yours to carry alone. I will be your strength. I will give you wisdom beyond your years, peace beyond your understanding, and favor beyond your reach. I will do for you what you cannot do for yourself, not so you can boast in your ability, but so you'll know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was me all along. You don't have to earn that kind of help. You just have to receive it. You just have to trust that I'm not playing games with your life. I don't bring you to the edge just to let you fall. I don't awaken dreams in you just to crush them. If I planted the seed, I will bring the harvest. But harvest takes time. It takes watering. It takes light. It takes surrender. Stop trying to rush what I'm growing. Let the roots deepen. Let patience do its work. And while you wait, don't waste your worship. Let it become your weapon. Let it become your breath. I know it's hard to hope again. I know disappointment has made you cautious. But I'm not the one who hurt you. I'm not the one who left. I'm the one who stayed. The one who held you when you had nothing left. The one who whispered worth over you when you felt discarded. The one who never gave up, even when you did. I will never be distant or cold. I will never mock your pain or ignore your cry. I am Emmanuel, God with you, always. And right now I'm closer than your breath, closer than the next thought in your mind. I'm in this very moment, inviting you to rest. Not because everything is resolved, but because I'm enough. I'm enough for the questions. I'm enough for the gaps. I'm enough for the pain you don't yet know how to name. Come to me no as a task, but as a refuge. Lay your striving down. Let go of the illusion that you have to figure it all out before I move. I move in the mystery. I move in the mess. I move when faith is raw and imperfect. This is the place where miracles begin. I've watched you try to be strong for everyone else, while silently breaking on the inside. You've been the encourager, the anchor, the responsible one, the one others turn to when they feel like falling apart. But I see what they don't. I see how much strength it takes to smile when your soul is tired. I see the weight you carry behind your quiet moments. And I need you to know being strong doesn't mean pretending you're not hurting. It means trusting me enough to be real. It means letting me hold the pieces you no longer know how to carry. You're not supposed to have all the answers. I never asked you to. I didn't create you to be your own savior. I created you to walk with me, to lean on me, to trust me with the parts of life that feel too heavy or too complicated. I'm not looking for your perfection, I'm looking for your surrender. You can stop trying to hold everything together out of fear that it will all fall apart. What looks like chaos to you is often preparation in my hands. What feels like delay is often my protection, and what seems like silence is where I'm speaking the loudest. Sometimes, what I withhold is just as important as what I give. I know you don't always understand why certain things haven't worked out, why the door didn't open, why the relationship didn't last, why the opportunity slipped away. But what you call rejection, I often call redirection. I don't close doors to punish you. I close them because I'm leading you somewhere better, somewhere safer, somewhere more aligned with who you truly are. My no is not a denial of your worth, it's a declaration of your value. You are worth protecting. You are worth waiting for what's best. You are worth more than temporary fulfillment. I know how easy it is to believe the lie that everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still, that you've missed your moment, or that others are more favored, more called, more equipped. But comparison will only rob you of the joy I've placed right in front of you. You don't need to measure your progress by someone else's highlight reel. I'm not writing your story with the same pen I used for them. Your journey is sacred, unique, timed with eternal precision. Trust that I haven't forgotten you. I'm not late. I'm building something in you that will stand when the winds of life try to tear others down. And even when you feel behind, I am still ahead of you, clearing the path, softening hearts, aligning resources, preparing moments of favor that will seem sudden but have been in motion all along. I orchestrate divine appointments. I cause unseen connections to align. And when the time is right, nothing will stop what I have for you. Not fear, not doubt, not delay, not even your past. Because I'm not consulting your history to determine your destiny. I'm rewriting your story with grace as the ink and mercy as the rhythm. Every scar becomes part of your testimony. Every fall becomes a setup for deeper wisdom and strength. I'm not ashamed of the pages you'd rather tear out. I see the beauty, even in the chapters marked by brokenness. I was there when your heart shattered. I was there when the silence felt unbearable. I was there when the prayers went unanswered, not because I was indifferent, but because I was weaving something eternal through the very threads of your pain. I never left. I never stopped loving you, and I never will. My presence is not tied to your performance. It's tied to my promise, and I promised I'd never forsake you. That includes the parts of the journey where you feel most alone. You're allowed to breathe again. You're allowed to enjoy without guilt, to laugh without waiting for something to go wrong, to trust without bracing for betrayal. I'm not asking you to live in fear of the next loss. I'm calling you to live fully in the present where I am. Right here, right now. Not in the trauma of yesterday, not in the worry of tomorrow. In this moment, in the stillness, in the breath you're taking now. That's where my peace is waiting. That's where restoration begins. Not through more effort, but through presence. Through recognizing that I'm not in a hurry, and neither do you need to be. Let this be the season you come back to yourself. Not the self molded by pressure, not the version shaped by survival, but the self I originally formed, the one who knew how to hope, the one who dared to dream, the one who believed in beauty before the world taught you to be cynical. That part of you isn't gone. It's just buried under layers of disappointment and defense. Let me uncover it. Let me breathe new life into it. You're not too far gone. You haven't wasted too much time. There is still a well of joy inside you that I can draw from. There are still dreams I can resurrect. You weren't made to just exist. You were made to thrive, to overflow, to live with purpose and passion and intimacy with me. And yes, that kind of life may feel risky. It may feel unfamiliar. But that's where faith lives, in the unfamiliar. That's where miracles are born, in the places you choose to trust before you can see. And I promise you, if you keep walking with me, what's ahead will redeem everything behind. The restoration will be more than you imagined. The peace will be deeper than you hoped. And the love will be undeniable. You have endured seasons that seemed to stretch beyond your strength, moments that tested the very core of who you are. And yet here you are, not just surviving but still reaching for me. Even if your faith felt faint, even if your prayers were whispered through tears, you didn't let go. And that matters more than you realize. I never required flawless belief. I simply asked that you wouldn't give up. Every time you showed up when it hurt, every time you worshiped through the pain, every time you kept going when everything in you said to stop, I saw it all. I counted each act of courage as sacred. There's a kind of strength that isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It's not recognized with applause, but it's the strength that shakes heaven. The strength of a heart that chooses love when it's been wounded. The strength of a soul that forgives, even when justice hasn't arrived. The strength of someone who refuses to let bitterness grow roots in sacred soil. That's what I see in you. That's the kind of faith I honor, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. It's forged in fire, not comfort, and it's becoming something unshakable. I know you're tired. Not just physically, but soul tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of fighting unseen battles. Tired of trying to explain what others don't understand. But I haven't brought you this far to leave you wandering in confusion. I am the God who finishes what I start. What I've spoken over your life is still in motion. You may feel like everything around you is still or silent, but beneath the surface, I am working. Every delay has purpose. Every closed door is part of a divine strategy, and every unanswered prayer is held gently in my hands, ripening for the right moment. There are things I'm doing in you before I do things for you, because I care more about who you're becoming than about what you're achieving. I'm forming in you the kind of character that can carry the weight of the blessing I'm preparing. I'm stretching your capacity, expanding your vision, healing the parts of your heart that would sabotage what I want to give. Sometimes I slow things down so you can grow into the version of yourself that's ready. And even that process is my mercy. You don't need a miracle that destroys you. You need one that builds you. And that's what I'm creating. I'm not rushing you. I'm teaching you how to walk with me, instead of racing ahead or falling behind. I'm showing you how to hear my whisper in a noisy world, how to recognize peace, even when your circumstances are unsteady. I'm not just answering your prayers, I'm answering your heart's deepest need, even the ones you haven't spoken aloud. I know what you long for. I know the hidden ache behind your strongest smile. And I'm not ignoring it. I'm gently tending to it, like a gardener who knows when the soil is ready to break open. There is beauty in what's breaking, not because the pain is good, but because I am good in the midst of it. What feels like the end of something may actually be the beginning of alignment. I don't waste anything, not even your tears. Every moment you thought was lost has been woven into the tapestry of redemption. And I know you're tired of hearing it will all make sense one day. So I'm not asking you to make sense of it. I'm asking you to trust me in it. To walk with me one breath, one choice, 1 hour at a time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stay close. Let go of the timelines you've built around your healing, your success, your breakthrough. I'm not bound by your calendar. I work in rhythms that serve your soul, not your schedule. Stop believing that you're behind. You're right where you need to be for what I'm shaping in you. Stop cursing the delay. Bless it instead. Because what I'm forming in this season will outlast what you thought you wanted. I'm not building something shallow. I'm building something deep. Something that roots you in peace no matter what comes. Something that steadies you when the storms rise again. Let this be the season you stop striving for approval and start receiving the love that's already yours. You don't have to earn what I freely give. You don't have to prove your worth. You were chosen before you accomplished a thing. You were loved before you made a single right move. You are mine completely, eternally, irrevocably, and that is your anchor. not your performance, not your productivity, not your strength. Just my love, my unshakable, unchanging, unconditional love. That's what will carry you. That's what will heal you. That's what will sustain you when everything else fails. I am with you in the slow seasons, in the quiet mornings, in the unanswered texts, in the nights you can't sleep, in the questions with no resolution, in the waiting rooms, in the mundane moments that don't feel miraculous. I'm not just present in your worship, I'm present in your weakness, not just in your victories, but in your vulnerability. I'm walking through every valley beside you, not just watching from the mountaintop. You've never taken a step I wasn't aware of. You've never cried a tear I didn't catch. You've never whispered a hope I didn't hold close to my heart. So breathe, release, rest. You don't have to rush to the next thing. I'm here now, not just promising a future, but offering you my presence in this moment. And that presence is enough, more than enough, because it brings the peace the world can't give, the clarity that confusion can't cloud, the joy that circumstances can't steal, and the strength to keep going even when you don't know how the story ends, because you're not walking alone, and you never will. There are moments when you've questioned whether your prayers even reach me, when silence felt like absence and delay felt like denial. But silence is never abandonment. My stillness is never rejection. You assume I am far because I do not respond immediately, but I am closest in the moments when your heart trembles and your voice shakes. You do not need to shout for me to hear. I know the groans too deep for words. I recognize the cries of your spirit before they form on your tongue. I understand the storm behind your composure, the fight behind your faith. You have carried burdens not even you understood. Sometimes you didn't know why you felt so heavy, only that your soul longed for a place to rest. And I was that place. I am that place still. Not a concept, not an idea, not a future destination, but a present refuge, a person, a presence. The I am, not the I was of your past, nor the I might be of your future, but the I am who steps into your now, who wraps arms of light around the dark corners of your heart and speaks peace where chaos has tried to make a home. You don't need more answers. You need more awareness. Awareness of my nearness. Awareness of my nature. I have never operated by formulas or timelines. I move with intention, not haste. And while the world screams for outcomes, I'm whispering about process. Not because I delight in delay, but because I delight in what's being formed in the unseen. The slow growth, the sacred becoming, the quiet miracles no one sees but me. I'm teaching you how to trust what doesn't yet look like victory. Because true faith doesn't require evidence. It requires intimacy. When I tell you I will provide, I don't mean just material things. I mean the wisdom you need when decisions feel paralyzing. I mean the courage to stand when your knees feel weak. I mean the calm in the middle of relational storms. I mean the confidence to walk through doors you don't feel qualified to enter. My provision is wholeness. I don't give scraps, I prepare tables. I don't hand out leftovers, I pour out overflow. What I give reflects who I am, and I am abundant. I am generous. I am the giver who never runs dry, who delights in watching you receive what you didn't think you deserved. But to receive, you must release. Release the fear of being too much or not enough. Release the lie that healing has to be immediate to be real. Release the guilt of resting. Release the illusion that your value is tied to your output. You were never created to earn my affection. You were born from it, formed in it, saturated by it. Everything else flows from that truth. Your relationships, your calling, your work, your healing, it all finds alignment when you begin from love, not for it. Let that be your starting point. Every day, every time. You've been looking for permission to slow down. Here it is. You don't need to run just because others are sprinting. You don't need to measure your worth by the speed of your progress. I never asked you to perform. I asked you to walk with me, to abide, to rest in the vine so the fruit could form naturally. Some seasons are for blooming, others are for rooting, but both are holy. Both are necessary. Don't despise the days when it looks like nothing is happening. They are sacred in my eyes. They are preparing you for what is next. And what's next is not just a moment, it's a movement, a deepening, a shift from surface to substance. I'm calling you into waters that may seem deep, but you will not drown. You will discover that you were made for this current, that your spirit is equipped for the depths, not just the shallows, that the waves that once frightened you will become the rhythm that carries you into destiny. But first, you must trust the tide. Trust that even when you can't see the shore, I am still steering the boat. You are not lost. You are led. There are gifts in you still unopened, dreams still alive beneath the dust, callings that didn't expire just because time passed. I have not changed my mind about you. I don't revoke purpose. I don't rescind destiny. I don't downgrade dreams because of delay. Everything I planted in you still lives, and I am breathing on it again. New wind, new fire, new grace. This is not the end of your story, it's a new volume, a fresh unfolding, a divine continuation. Do not mourn what you thought should have happened by now. Celebrate what's being born through surrender. Stop waiting until you feel ready to move. I don't anoint the most prepared. I anoint the most willing. You don't need to have every step planned. You just need to say yes. Yes to healing. Yes to love. Yes to me. Yes to the unknown that is fully known by me. When you move in obedience, I release what's needed along the way. Provision follows purpose. Clarity follows trust. Breakthrough follows belief. You don't have to force the doors open. I'm already unlocking them. And the ones I shut were for your protection, not punishment. One day, you'll thank me for what didn't work out. So let go of the shame that clings to your past. Let go of the fear that strangles your future. Stand in this moment with the full awareness that you are chosen, loved, and held. You don't have to wait for the next chapter to believe that. You don't have to see the blessing before you call it yours. Faith sees what the eyes can't. Faith reaches beyond the now and says, God is still good here, and I am. I am good not because of what you receive, but because of who I am. And I'm not changing. This is your moment to receive not just what you've asked for, but what you've forgotten to ask for. The peace you didn't know you needed. The joy that isn't loud but steady. The kind of love that walks with you through every shadow. You are not invisible to me. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are beloved. Fully, completely, eternally. And everything I've said over you still stands. There is a sacred shift happening within you. Not the kind that makes noise or draws attention, but the kind that redefines everything in silence. You're being realigned with your original identity. Not the version shaped by wounds, not the one formed by opinions, not the image you've tried to uphold to survive, but the true youth, the one I spoke into existence before the noise, before the striving, before the labels. I'm removing the residue of roles you were never meant to carry. I'm breaking the masks that protected you, but also prevented you from fully receiving love. You were not made to pretend. You were made to be free. There are layers to you that you haven't met yet, strengths that will surprise you, depths of compassion that will undo the bitterness, and wisdom that didn't come from books but from surviving what should have broken you. The parts of you that were once sources of shame are becoming wells of healing. I don't waste anything. What the enemy used to try to silence you, I'm turning into the very thing that will amplify your purpose. The pain you endured in the shadows is becoming oil in your hands, pure, costly, and powerful. You've been waiting for someone to validate your worth. But worth is not something that increases with applause or decreases with criticism. It is fixed. It is divine. It is inherited. not earn. When I made you, I didn't base your value on performance. I looked at you and called you good. Before you achieved anything, before you accomplished or failed, before anyone ever praised or rejected you. My declaration was enough then, and it's still enough now. You are not becoming valuable. You are awakening to the value you've always carried. There's a misconception you've lived with, that being strong means hiding pain, staying silent, pressing forward while bleeding. But strength is not the absence of struggle. It's the choice to keep trusting even when everything inside you wants to shut down. It's the courage to ask for help, to say, I'm not okay, but I'm still here, and I honor that. I don't overlook tears, I bottle them. I don't ignore weariness, I surround it. My power is made perfect in weakness, not masked strength, not polished performance, but honest surrender. When you let yourself break open before me, I begin rebuilding from the inside, not with pressure or judgment, but with gentleness and truth. I remove the lies you didn't know you believed, that you had to earn rest, that you had to prove you're lovable, that you had to compete for attention, that you were safer hiding your voice. One by one, I dismantle those walls, not to leave you exposed, but to finally let love reach the places you've kept hidden. What you fear will make you unlovable is the very place I want to heal. Stop rehearsing what went wrong. Stop replaying every moment where you think you failed or fell short. You are not a collection of mistakes. You are a living testimony of grace. I don't define you by the chapter you regret. I define you by the promise I made. And that promise didn't end when you stumbled. I don't cancel covenants. I complete them. I will finish what I started in you, not halfway, not partially, but fully. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are still mine. You've asked me, why hasn't the breakthrough come yet? But breakthrough is not always external first. Sometimes the greatest miracle is the one happening in your mind when fear no longer rules your decisions, when peace becomes your posture, when joy is no longer dependent on outcomes. You are being transformed from the inside out, and transformation is often quiet, slow, and sacred. Don't rush what I'm doing. Don't despise the hidden season. This is the foundation that will hold the weight of your next elevation. You want clarity, but I'm offering you something better. Closeness. You think answers will give you peace, but I know presence is what your soul really longs for. If I gave you the full map, you'd lean on the plan instead of leaning on me. So I give you just enough for today, enough grace for this step, enough strength for this moment, enough light for the next decision. I'm not hiding the future to frustrate you. I'm holding it to protect you. And when the time is right, I'll reveal what's next. You are walking into a season where you won't have to force things anymore. What I have ordained for you will begin to find you, not because you're striving, but because you're aligned. Alignment over hustle, surrender over strategy, intimacy over image. That's where you'll see the fruit begin to multiply. That's where the peace that surpasses understanding will guard your heart. That's where you'll look around and say, only God could have done this. And you'll be right. There's a calm I'm ushering into your soul now. Not because everything is solved, but because you're no longer carrying it alone. You've been trying to manage what was never yours to carry. Release it. Release the outcome. Release the overthinking. Release the need to always be in control. I didn't call you to micromanage miracles. I called you to trust. Trust is not passive, it is powerful. It shifts atmospheres. It moves mountains. It silences the voices of fear and lifts your eyes to see the unseen. I have not forgotten the promises I whispered in your heart. Even the ones you've stopped praying about. Even the ones you buried because they seemed impossible. I'm still working. Still writing. Still weaving redemption through every thread of your story. Don't measure progress by what you can see, measure it by what you feel stirring inside. That renewed hope, that quiet expectancy, that's me. I'm awakening your spirit to believe again, to dream again, to walk like the one who knows they are fully loved. I see how you've been navigating the in-between, the space between where you were and where you know you're meant to be. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Like standing on a bridge that seems suspended between two worlds, unsure whether the ground behind you still holds anything for you, and unsure what exactly lies ahead. And yet, I am with you here, not only in your destination, not only in the dream fulfilled, but here, in the messy, uncertain, sometimes exhausting middle. You don't have to wait for the next chapter to feel my presence. This moment is sacred too. There's a misconception that stillness means stagnation, but sometimes stillness is the greatest act of obedience. You want to run, to fix, to understand, but I'm teaching you how to be, how to remain, how to breathe deeply even when the future is blurry. I am training your spirit to rest without answers, to worship without clarity, to hope without guarantees. Not because I want to frustrate you, but because I want your roots to grow deep, not in outcomes, but in me. You are learning that peace doesn't come when everything makes sense. It comes when your soul knows who is in control. There are voices that try to convince you that your past disqualifies you from joy, from love, from calling. But I never consulted your history to determine your destiny. I called you knowing every detail, every failure, every detour, every silent cry in the dark. Nothing about you is a surprise to me. And still, I chose you. Still, I'm building with you. Still, I've marked you for something greater. You don't need to clean yourself up to earn my favor. My favor rests on you because of who I am, not because of what you do. You've tried to earn what I've already given freely. You've tried to prove your worth, hoping that one more achievement, one more yes, one more validation would finally make you feel enough. But you were enough before the first yes. Before you performed, before you accomplished, before you even believed in yourself. The striving ends here. You don't need to perform for me. Just come close. Just let me hold you when you're tired of being strong. Let me speak into the places you've silenced. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are mine. I'm removing the pressure to carry what's not yours. You've been feeling heavy not because you're failing, but because you're holding things that were never meant to be yours. Expectations that others projected on you. Guilt from a past you've already outgrown. Fear of what might happen if you let go. But freedom is found in surrender, not in knowing how everything will unfold, but in trusting that I do. You don't have to be the hero of every situation. Let me be your strength. Let me lead. I know the way, even when the path disappears beneath your feet. There are miracles I've already positioned in your path, but they require one thing: your yes. Not your perfection, not your understanding, just your willingness to trust me with what you cannot see. Every step of obedience unlocks something. Every act of surrender loosens what has been bound. Every time you choose faith over fear, you partner with heaven's agenda. Don't wait for fear to disappear before you move. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to trust me in the middle of it. And when you do, you'll find I've already gone ahead of you, making a way. I see how tired you are of starting over, how exhausted your heart feels from building again after loss, after betrayal, after disappointment. But I want you to hear me clearly. This rebuild will not look like the last. This time, it will be on solid ground. This time, you're not building alone. I'm laying every stone with you. And what you build with me will last. It won't collapse under pressure. It won't depend on unstable approval. It will be rooted in truth, sustained by grace, and marked by peace that doesn't waver. You're not starting over, you're starting stronger. You don't have to force connection with those who can't see the real you. Stop shrinking to be accepted. Stop editing your light to make others comfortable. I didn't create you to blend in, I created you to shine. Some people walked away not because you were wrong, but because you were outgrowing the place they were willing to stay. Let them go. Release the need to explain yourself. I'm surrounding you with those who see you, who speak life into you, who honor what I've placed in you. But first, you must honor it yourself. There is beauty in your process 7 when it's messy. Even when you feel like nothing is changing, you are not stuck. You are being sanctified, refined, strengthened. The wilderness is not your prison, it's your preparation. It's where I strip away what can't go with you. It's where I speak in whispers that you couldn't hear in the noise. Don't fight the process. Don't rush through the transformation. There is glory in your becoming. Every tear has watered the soil. Every prayer has shaped the foundation. You may not see the fruit yet, but the roots are growing strong. And that's what matters most. Deep roots. A heart that knows how to wait without wavering. A soul that is anchored in love, not outcomes. This is where revival starts, not in platforms or perfection, but in the quiet surrender of someone who still says, "Yes, Lord," even when it hurts, even when it's slow, even when no one sees. I see. I see your obedience. I see your consistency. I see your heart that won't stop hoping. And I am honoring it in ways you cannot yet imagine. You keep asking if I'm still near, if I still hear you. But my nearness is not based on your ability to feel me. I am present even in your numbness, even in the silence, even in the moments where your prayers sound more like groans than words. You don't have to articulate everything perfectly for me to respond. I understand the language of your tears. I know the weight behind your sighs. I count the pauses between your words. I'm not only listening to what you say, I'm holding what you can't express. You have endured so much without recognition. You've served, forgiven, persevered, and kept believing while no one saw the sacrifice. But I saw it, and not a single act of love has been wasted. Not a single quiet decision to stay faithful has gone unnoticed. While others measured you by your performance, I've been measuring you by your surrender, and you've passed every test that mattered. You've loved when it was hard. You've stayed when it was easier to leave. You've believed when logic told you to quit. And now, I'm bringing the harvest to your obedience. You won't have to chase what I've already assigned to you. You don't have to beg for what I'm already willing to give. When I bless, no one can block it. When I open, no one can close it. And what's coming will not be delayed by man, by fear, or by your past. I've timed it perfectly. I've aligned the right doors, the right people, the right season. You don't have to manipulate outcomes or strive to stay in control. Just stay connected to me. The vine always nourishes the branch, and I will never stop flowing into your life. I'm healing you in layers. Some things I took instantly, and others I've allowed to surface slowly, not to torment you, but to bring deeper restoration. I'm not afraid of your triggers, your memories, your emotions. I'm not frustrated by your process. I'm patient with your unraveling, because I know what I planted inside you. I know what will remain once the pain is peeled away. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too far gone. You are being made whole from the inside out. And every moment you yield is an invitation for me to do more. I'm restoring your joy not just as a fleeting feeling, but as a powerful foundation. Joy that isn't shaken by what they say, or by how the day unfolds. Joy that bubbles up from a deep knowing that you are held, seen, loved, and chosen. You don't have to wait until the storm ends to dance. You can rejoice now because I'm in the boat with you. Because I've already declared the outcome. Because even in the middle, there is grace. You are allowed to laugh again, to dream again, to breathe without fear again. This is your portion, joy, unshaken. There is a reason the enemy has been trying so hard to exhaust you, distract you, and discourage you. It's because you're close, closer than you know. He senses the shift. He sees the movement in the spirit. He knows the impact your obedience will have. But he cannot stop what I've ordained. He can only try to convince you to quit before it begins. Don't fall for it. Don't lay down your sword just because it's heavy. Strength is rising in you. Your authority is increasing. Heaven is backing you. Keep going. Keep speaking. Keep showing up. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right on time for what I've prepared. Comparison will lie to you. It will make you question the pace of your journey. But your path is not theirs. Your story is not theirs. You're being crafted with intentionality. I'm doing a deep work in you because your calling is weighty. Because what I entrust to you must be stewarded with wisdom and strength. And when it unfolds, you'll understand why it took time. You'll thank me for the delays, for the pruning, for the times I said, not yet. I am lifting shame off of you, the kind that hides beneath the surface, the silent self-judgment, the inner criticism, the narrative that says you should have done more, been more, known more. I am rewriting that script. You are not defined by your worst moment. You are not limited by what they spoke over you. You are not your failures, and you are not your fears. You are my beloved, my masterpiece, my reflection, and I am proud of you. Yes, proud. Not because you did everything right, but because you stayed, because you let me in. Let go of the image you think you have to maintain. I never asked you to pretend. I never asked you to be invincible. I asked you to be real, to come to me raw, even when you're unsure what to say. I delight in your honesty. I draw near to your authenticity. I don't need you to impress. Me, I already love you. Just come, even if your voice shakes, even if your faith is small, even if your hands are trembling. My grace meets you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. And in this moment I'm covering you with peace, and not the peace the world gives, but mine. The kind that silences chaos. The kind that soaks deep into your soul and whispers, you're safe. You're mine. You're covered. Let it in. Let it wash over every anxious thought, every restless fear, every question that has no answer. You are surrounded. Not by enemies, not by pressure, not by doom, but by angels, by promises, by the assurance of a Father who never stops fighting for you. There's a new rhythm I'm inviting you into, not one built on pressure, deadlines, or striving, but one that flows from my presence. A divine cadence where your steps are guided by peace, not panic. Where your decisions are rooted in discernment, not desperation. Where you don't just survive the days, I teach you how to dwell in them. I want you to wake up knowing you're not late, not lacking, not lost. You're led. You're held. You're exactly where I need you to be for the unfolding of the next chapter. Let me be your rhythm. Let me retrain the way you see time, opportunity, and movement. You are not a machine. I didn't design you to produce endlessly and collapse silently. I created you to commune, to receive, to overflow. Let me show you how to pace yourself in grace. Let me show you how to be in step with my spirit, not just sprinting through seasons hoping for breakthrough. I will walk with you through everything. I will be your anchor in the rush, your fire in the stillness, your whisper in the noise. You'll never need to outrun grace. The help you need is closer than it seems. I've already positioned what's necessary: answers, resources, people, healing. You don't need to climb mountains to get my attention. You already have it. You are the object of my affection. And I don't turn away when you struggle. I don't walk off when you're confused. I lean in even more. I adjust your crown when it slips. I steady your hands when they tremble. I wipe your tears when they fall quietly in the dark. You're not too much. You're not too late. You're mine. Let this be the week you stop agreeing with fear. The week you stop rehearsing every worst-case scenario and instead begin rehearsing my word. What I said about you, still stands. What I promised is still active. What I've spoken over your destiny is still in motion. Nothing has been canceled. Delay is not denial. Closed doors were protection, not rejection. And what's opening now will require your trust, not your explanation. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to say yes. Yes to rest. Yes to hope. Yes to healing. Yes to me. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Where heaviness sat, joy will rise. Where confusion lingered, clarity will settle. Where fatigue reigned, strength is being renewed. I'm rebuilding you from the inside out, not to make you who you used to be, but to reveal who I always knew you were becoming. Strong, bold, grounded, radiant, and anchored in me. You're not who the pain tried to shape. You're not who your past tried to define. You're who I breathed into existence, with purpose, and my breath still sustains you, still activates you, still anoints you. Stop disqualifying yourself. I'm not looking for perfect vessels, I'm looking for surrendered ones. And your surrender is enough. Your willingness moves me. Your daily yes holds more power than you realize. You don't need the approval of others to walk in what I gave you. You don't need the credentials of the world to speak what I placed in your mouth. When I send you, I back you. When I raise you, I protect you. And when I release you, no force can stop what flows through you. You are my messenger, my child, my light in dark places. I see how you still love even after being hurt, how you still show up even when unseen, how you keep believing even when the report looks impossible. That is faith. That is courage. That is the kind of heart I bless. I'm not asking you to have it all figured out. I'm just asking you not to give up. Because what's coming requires your presence, not your perfection. Your availability, not your performance. You've carried others for so long now, let me carry you into the promise. You don't have to keep rehearsing your failures in your mind. Let me retrain your thoughts. Let me wash over your memories with truth. You're not a lost cause. You're not forgotten. You're not overlooked. You are my beloved. And even when others try to minimize what I'm doing in your life, I will magnify it. I prepare tables in front of critics. I elevate in obscurity. I promote those who stay humble. And I will make sure you don't miss what's meant for you, because what's meant for you was designed with your name etched in glory. This is your moment to breathe again, to live unafraid, to stop holding back the tears, the dreams, the prayers. I didn't create you to blend in. I set you apart. I placed something eternal in you, something unshakable, something that resonates with heaven. You are never meant to be defined by your valley. You are marked by the one who walks with you through it. And when you rise, it won't be with bitterness, it will be with oil, with authority, with fire, with vision, with joy, because I restore fully. You didn't open this message by accident. Something greater led you here, a gentle nudge from heaven, a whisper deep inside your spirit that refused to stay silent. There's been a stirring in your heart, a weight you couldn't quite explain, and a need for clarity that no voice around you has satisfied. And now, right now, you find yourself here, not because you're weak or desperate, but because you are seen, loved, and destined for more. I place this moment in your path because I want to speak to you directly. No distractions, no interruptions, just you and me. You've been trying to hold everything together, carrying responsibilities no one sees, smiling when your heart is cracking, pretending you're okay so the world doesn't ask questions you're too tired to answer. You've laid awake at night wondering if things will ever truly shift. You've whispered silent prayers through tears that never made it to your pillow. I heard every one of them. Not a single sigh of yours has gone unnoticed. Not a single question has been ignored. I'm not just aware of what you've been going through, I've been in it with you. Every silent battle, every anxious thought, every moment you thought you were alone, I was standing right there. You feel tired, not just physically, but at the level of your soul. It's not just about what's happening around you, it's about what's been happening within you. You've been overthinking, overanalyzing, and carrying burdens I never asked you to carry. You're trying to solve problems that were never yours to fix. You've been worrying about outcomes that belong to me. I see how tightly you've been holding on, thinking that if you loosen your grip, everything might fall apart. But what you haven't realized is that I've been holding you all along. This is the moment where you can breathe again. You don't need to perform for me. You don't need to pretend. I'm not here to judge your process. I'm here to restore your peace. I didn't come to shame your doubts, I came to silence the lies. The thoughts that keep whispering that you're not doing enough, that you'll never catch up, that you're falling behind. I didn't plant those in you. They are not truth. They are noise. And today, I'm silencing them. You don't need to fear what's ahead. You've been walking through uncertainty, trying to make plans when everything feels unstable. You've wondered if you'll make the wrong choice, if you'll miss my will, if things will collapse again like they did before. But I want you to hear me clearly. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are in the hands of your Creator. I've already gone before you. I've already seen the end from the beginning. And not only am I making a way, I'm walking the way with you. There is no part of your journey that I've ignored. I've watched you try to be strong for others. I've seen you pouring yourself out, giving without receiving, hoping someone might notice. And when no one did, when the silence around you felt louder than any affirmation, I was still there, speaking life into places that felt dead. Every time you wanted to quit but kept going anyway, I celebrated that choice. Every moment you chose love over bitterness, grace over revenge, hope over despair, I marked it. Because even when you thought your faith was failing, you were still walking forward. And that's what faith looks like, not perfection, but persistence. You've been asking for a sign. You've been praying for confirmation, waiting for that undeniable moment when everything makes sense. But I'm not always in the fire or the earthquake. Sometimes I'm in the stillness. Sometimes I show up as peace when you expected thunder. And this is that moment. My peace is the sign. That quiet assurance deep within you that is me. I'm not just visiting your story temporarily. I'm authoring it. You don't need to know every step right now. You just need to know that I'm here, and I'm not leaving. You've been scared to trust again, scared to open your heart, scared that if you hope too much, you'll be disappointed again. I understand. I don't dismiss your fear. I know what betrayal did to you. I know how loss shook you. I know how your heart clenched when the things you believed for didn't happen like you prayed. But I'm not like them. I don't abandon. I don't change my mind. I don't give halfway love. When I commit to you, I commit fully. I committed myself to you before you ever breathed your first breath. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. Everything I promised still stands. The timeline may have shifted in your eyes, but my timing is always perfect. What I've spoken over your life will not return void. Even in the delay, I've been developing you. Even in the waiting, I've been protecting you from things you didn't see. I'm not withholding blessings, I'm building foundations so they don't crumble when they arrive. I don't want you to just receive, I want you to sustain. And that's why I've been so intentional with every part of your story. You've looked around and compared your progress. You've questioned why others seem to be soaring while you're still crawling. But I measure differently. I see the unseen victories, the thoughts you didn't act on, the anger you laid down, the courage it took to keep showing up. Heaven celebrates what the world overlooks, and I'm proud of you. Not for your perfection, but for your endurance. For your yes in the middle of exhaustion. For trusting me even when everything in you wanted to run. And I need you to know something. I'm not finished. I've only just begun. The days ahead carry beauty you haven't imagined. I'm not recycling old blessings, I'm releasing new ones. not based on your worthiness, but based on my love, because I am your Father, and you are my beloved. Stay close to me now. There is more I want to say. There's been a war inside you that no one else sees, a quiet battle between your desire to believe and the constant pull of doubt. Some days, faith rises like fire in your bones. Other days, it flickers like a candle barely holding on. And yet you keep showing up. You keep choosing to believe, maybe not in loud declarations, but in the simple decision to not give up. I want you to know that heaven counts that. I honor the hidden perseverance, the days when you whisper, God, I trust you, even when your heart is tired. That moves me. You've convinced yourself that your struggles disqualify you, that your fears make you weak, that your past somehow excludes you from the fullness of my promises. But hear me clearly. Nothing in your history cancels my destiny for you. Your failures are not final. Your weakness is not a wall between yous. It's a doorway for my strength to pour in. I don't need your perfection. I never asked for your flawless performance. I asked for your heart. And when you bring me your brokenness, I bring you my restoration. You've prayed for peace, but still feel the tension in your chest. You've asked for answers, but silence seemed to be the only reply. I want you to understand that silence does not mean absence. I've been closer than your breath. Every time you felt like you were talking into the void, I was listening. I was storing every word. I don't miss a thing. Not your tears, not your sighs, not your questions. I hold it all. And in due time, I release the answers, not when you're desperate for control, but when your heart is ready to receive what I've prepared. This season hasn't been easy. You've been stretched. You've been shaken. You've had to let go of what was familiar without knowing what's next. It's felt like walking blindfolded, like building something with missing pieces. But I want you to see the truth. This isn't the end of your story, it's the middle of your breakthrough. I've been removing what no longer serves you. I've been stripping away what was never rooted in me. Not to punish you, but to prepare you, to make room for what's coming. Because what I'm about to release over your life cannot coexist with the clutter you were never meant to carry. You've believed the lie that rest is earned, that you only deserve peace once everything is fixed. But that's not my rhythm. That's not how I designed your soul to live. You weren't created to hustle for your healing. You were created to walk with me. And when you walk with me, rest isn't a reward, it's a posture. You can rest while the storm rages. You can breathe while the answers are still forming. You can sleep knowing that I do not sleep, and I am watching over everything that concerns you. Let go of the pressure to have it all figured out. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. That's my responsibility. Yours is to trust. And trust doesn't mean you won't feel fear, it means you move forward anyway. It means you anchor yourself in the truth that I am for you, not against you. That I go before you, clearing paths you didn't even know existed. That I am behind you, protecting you from what could have destroyed you. That I walk beside you, whispering peace in the noise. I surround you. There is nothing coming that I haven't already made provision for. You keep asking, but what if it doesn't work out? Let me ask you this instead. What if it does? What if the breakthrough is closer than you think? What if the delay was divine protection? What if I've been orchestrating things in the background in a way so perfect, so detailed, so loving, that when it unfolds, you'll fall to your knees in awe. You think you need to prepare for disappointment, but I'm preparing you for celebration. And I need you to stop disqualifying yourself. Stop saying you're not strong enough, not spiritual enough, not ready. I chose you knowing all of that. I chose you knowing your fears, your flaws, your failures. My calling over your life is not based on your perfection. It's based on my purpose. And when I call someone, I equip them. Not all at once, but day by day. step by step, and I've never stopped equipping you, even in the silence, even in the darkness, even when you couldn't see any growth. I was working beneath the surface. Don't be afraid of what's shifting. I know change can feel like loss, especially when you're releasing what once felt secure, but I am not taking from you. I am repositioning you. What feels like removal is often me making space. What feels like rejection is often my redirection. I'm not breaking you down. I'm building you up. And sometimes, building requires tearing out the old so the new can stand strong. You may not see it now, but one day, you'll look back and thank me for every no, every pause, every closed door. Because behind each one I was leading you closer to what your soul has truly been longing for. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't fallen too far. You haven't ruined anything I can't restore. My plans are not fragile. They don't break when you make mistakes. They bend around your process. They hold even when you feel like you're falling apart. I'm not panicked. I'm not disappointed. I'm still writing beauty into your story, even now. And this chapter is not about defeat, it's about deliverance. This isn't your downfall. This is your turning point. You're not forgotten. You are not invisible. I see you in the crowd. I hear you in the quiet. I hold you when the world feels cold. And I'm not just watching from afar, I'm moving toward you with grace in my hands and fire in my eyes. The kind of fire that burns away fear and leaves only faith. The kind of grace that lifts you when you don't have the strength to lift yourself. I am not withholding myself from you. I am pouring myself out over you in ways you're only beginning to understand. So breathe. Not because everything makes sense yet, but because I am with you. Right here. Right now. No more running. No more pretending. Let my presence be the place where your soul comes back to life. There's been a lie that's grown quietly inside you. The belief that you always have to be strong. That you can't let anyone see when you're struggling. That if you admit you're tired or afraid or unsure, you're somehow failing. But I never asked you to carry the image of perfection. I never called you to pretend. I called you to be real with me. And I can handle your honesty. You don't scare me. Your tears don't overwhelm me. Your emotions don't push me away. In fact, they draw me near. I'm not impressed by your mask. I'm moved by your truth. You've learned how to survive. But I want more for you than survival. I created you to thrive. To walk in peace that doesn't make sense. To wake up without dread in your chest. To look ahead with confidence, even if you don't know every step. And yet the voice of fear has whispered otherwise. It's told you to brace for the worst. To expect things to fall apart. To not hope too much, because disappointment might be waiting. But I never speak in the language of fear. I only speak truth. And the truth is this. You are safe in me. I know how hard it is to let go. I know how your mind loops every possibility, how your heart tries to plan around pain. But anxiety is not your inheritance. Worry is not your calling. You weren't made to live with knots in your stomach and tension in your chest. That's not your portion. Peace is, rest is, joy is. And these are not rewards you earn when you finally fix everything. They are gifts I give freely when you surrender. When you choose to believe that I am better at being God than you are at trying to control what you can't. I've seen how you try to hold it all together for everyone else. How you check in on others, encourage them, lift them up, but struggle to do the same for yourself. You've poured out love until you're empty. And still, you tell yourself, it's not enough. But I didn't call you to run on empty. I didn't design you to give from depletion. I want to fill you. I want to become your source again, not just your emergency rescue, but your daily strength. Not just your Sunday comfort, but your Monday power. I want to be the one who restores you when no one else sees that you're falling apart inside. You asked me to change your situation, but I'm also here to change your perspective. Because sometimes what you see is a burden, is actually a bridge. What you call delay, I call divine alignment. And what you think is a closed door might be my hand gently guiding you away from something that would have hurt you. I don't play games with your heart. Every move I make is intentional. Every redirection is protection. Every silence is strategic. And though you don't always see the full picture, I do. I see the end from the beginning. And I'm not guessing, I'm guiding. I'm not like people who walk away when things get messy. I'm not tired of you. I don't grow distant because you're struggling. My love is not fragile. It's not impatient. It's not dependent on your performance. I love you the same on your worst day as I do on your best. You can't shock me. You can't disappoint me into leaving. I chose you before you ever chose me, and I'm still choosing you now. Every second, every breath, every battle, I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not ashamed to call you mine. You don't need to try so hard to earn what I've already given. Grace isn't a transaction, it's a declaration. It says, you are enough because I say so, not because you've prayed enough, not because you've proven yourself, but because I love you that much, because my son gave everything to restore you, because your value was never based on your effort, but on my decision to make you family. So stop fighting for a seat at a table I already prepared for you. Stop trying to prove what I've already approved. Just come, sit, receive. Let me nourish your soul again. And let's talk about your fears. Not the ones you speak out loud, but the ones that creep in when the world gets quiet. The fear that you'll never be truly loved. The fear that everything you build will crumble. The fear that you'll always feel behind. Always be chasing peace you never fully catch. I want you to know I'm confronting those fears. I'm shining light on them not to shame you, but to free you. Because when you name your fear, I can dismantle it. When you bring it to me, I don't reject you. I rescue you. And I replace fear with faith. It's okay to slow down. You don't need to race through life to catch up to anyone. You're not behind. You're not late. You're on a sacred path, and I walk it with you. I'm not in a hurry with your healing. I don't rush the process. I develop depth. I build strength that doesn't snap under pressure. I teach you endurance not to punish you, but to empower you, because I know what's ahead, and I'm shaping you into someone who won't just arrive at their destiny, but will thrive when they get there. You wonder if you're enough for the calling I placed on your life. You are, not because of your own strength, but because of my spirit in you. I don't send you into battles unarmed. I don't call you into seasons unprepared. I equip you as you walk. And even when you feel like you're stumbling, I turn every misstep into momentum. I'm not grading you, I'm growing you. I'm not criticizing you, I'm crafting you into someone bold, someone whole, someone who walks with authority not because they never fall, but because they rise every single time by my grace. You are not a burden. You are not a mistake. You are not too much or not enough. You are loved, chosen, held, protected, called. You are mine, and I don't take my hands off what I treasure. I don't abandon what I paid for. I see value where others see failure. I see purpose where others see pain. And if only you could see yourself the way I do, you would never doubt again. You've been asking me for signs, some confirmation that you're not alone, that I'm still moving in your story. You've looked to the sky, the numbers on a clock, the words of strangers, and I've spoken in all of those ways. But even now, this moment, this very message, is part of my response. I see how your heart aches for reassurance, how your soul reaches for something solid. So let me be clear. I am with you, not in theory, not as an idea, as a real and present presence, as your father, as your refuge, as your voice of truth when every other voice becomes noise. You've been walking through seasons that feel quiet, and you've started to question if I've grown silent too. But silence doesn't mean absence. I'm still working when you hear nothing. I'm still moving when you feel stuck. I do some of my greatest work in hidden places, in the stillness, in the waiting, in the in-between. What feels like delay is sometimes me protecting you from premature exposure, because I care more about your foundation than your spotlight. I would rather prepare you in secret than let you collapse under pressure in public. Trust that my timeline is not punishment, it's preservation. Every time you thought I was distant, I was actually holding you closer. When you cried yourself to sleep and no one saw, I did. When you questioned your worth, I whispered the truth over you again and again. When the weight was too much, and you didn't think you'd make it, I was the strength that carried you forward when your legs gave out. You've survived things not because you're invincible, but because I intervened. I stepped in. I shielded you. And I'm not done. I haven't brought you this far to abandon you now. I'm invested in your becoming. I'm committed to your healing. There is no version of your future that excludes. My goodness. Even when the road winds, even when storms rise, even when the path disappears under your feet, I'm still leading you to blessing. But you need to release the narrative that you're disqualified, that your past is too messy, your faith too weak, your steps too hesitant. I've never based my blessings on perfection. I based them on love, and I have loved you from the beginning, even when you didn't know how to love me back, even when you ran, even when you hid. I stayed, I pursued, and I chose you still. You asked for breakthrough, but sometimes what I give first is clarity. Because if I gave you what you're asking for without changing how you see, you'd sabotage the very thing you prayed for. That's why I work on your heart before I open new doors. That's why I stretch your capacity before I release the promise. It's not delay. It's divine design. I'm not just giving you what you want. I'm shaping you to handle it. Because I care more about the sustainability of your joy than the speed of your blessing. I care more about your depth than your comfort. Let me speak into that place of loneliness, the part of you that smiles for others but weeps in private. You were never meant to journey through life alone. And though people have left, disappointed, betrayed, or simply drifted, I have not. I never will. My love doesn't fade. My presence doesn't vanish. I am the friend who stays through every season, who celebrates your highs and holds you in your lows. I see the ache in your chest when you long for connection, for understanding, for someone to truly get you. And I want you to know I do. I know every layer of your soul, and I love you completely. When the voices of criticism rise up, when shame tries to chain you to yesterday, remember who I say you are. You're not your failures. You're not your worst day. You're not the broken parts others pointed out. You are redeemed. You are whole. You are becoming exactly who I envisioned when I first formed you. And every setback has become a setup for something greater. I waste nothing. Every tear has watered the soil of your future. Every delay has refined your character. Every disappointment has cleared the path for my divine appointment. I am not late. I am right on time. You've carried guilt over things that were never yours to hold. You've internalized blame for circumstances outside your control. But I didn't create you to carry condemnation. I created you for communion, for peace, for restoration. So today, I ask you to lay down that guilt. Not because you're pretending nothing happened, but because I've already paid for it. I covered it. I cleansed it. I released you from it. And it's time you release yourself. You're allowed to heal. You're allowed to move forward. You're allowed to smile without shame and breathe without burden. That's what my grace is for. You've spent so much energy bracing for things to go wrong. But what if, this time, things go right? What if instead of preparing for pain, You prepared for promise. What if you opened your hands to receive instead of constantly guarding against loss? I want to teach you how to live open. Open to love. Open to laughter. Open to me, moving in unexpected ways. Yes, there will be risk, but there will also be reward. Because I didn't give you a spirit of fear, I gave you power. I gave you a sound mind. I gave you the courage to live fully alive. You've asked me, is it really possible to live free from anxiety? And I say yes. Not by denying your emotions, but by anchoring your heart in me. Peace isn't the absence of trouble. It's the presence of trust. It's waking up and choosing to believe that even if everything feels uncertain, I am still steady. Even if the world shakes, I do not. Even if you don't know the future, you know the one who holds it. And that's enough. That's always enough. So breathe, let go, and lean in, because I am here, and I am not leaving. You don't need to perform to earn my presence. You don't have to have all the right words or get everything together to be loved by me. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for surrender. It's not about how polished your prayers sound or how consistent your rituals are. It's about your heart. That fragile, worn, beautiful heart that you try to hide behind responsibilities and distractions. I see past all of that. I see the real you, the tired you, the longing you, the one that still hopes even when everything around seems dim. And that's the version of you I cherish the most. Somewhere along the way you started believing that struggling meant you were failing. But struggle isn't failure. It's evidence that you haven't given up. And I honor that. I see the fight in you, even when you feel weak. I see the courage it takes to keep showing up, even when you don't have answers. I see the small acts of faith, the whispered prayers, the silent tears, the choice to hope again. That's the kind of strength the world overlooks, but I celebrate. Because it's in your weakness that my power shows up the most. It's when you can't that I do. I know there are things you don't talk about, pain you don't know how to explain, thoughts that scare you, moments that still sting. I know you carry wounds that haven't healed, stories that haven't been told, but I am not afraid of your honesty. I'm not shocked by your mess. You can bring me everything, your anger, your doubt, your fear, even your silence. I will sit with you in it. I won't rush you. I won't shame you. I will stay. And slowly, gently, I will help you untangle the knots inside. You don't have to figure it out alone anymore. You've been wondering if I'm disappointed in you. Let me answer that plainly. I am not. I have seen every mistake, every bad choice, every detour, and I still call you mine. I haven't revoked my promises. I haven't changed my mind about you. My plans are not so fragile that they can be ruined by your humanness. I took your weakness into account when I called you. I knew who you were, who you are, and who you will be. And I chose you anyway. That's what grace looks like, not a reward for the perfect, but a lifeline for the willing. There are people who left and it hurt deeper than words can describe. Their absence became a wound you kept trying to ignore. But I want you to hear this. Their departure was not your fault. Some exits are protection in disguise. Some rejections are redirections. I've removed people not to punish you, but to preserve you. I saw the conversations you didn't hear, the intentions you didn't see, the roads that would have led to harm. And so I stepped in. I closed doors. I shifted relationships. I allowed the leaving to make room for the arriving new people. New support. New beginnings. I never subtract without the intent to multiply. You've been fighting battles that no one sees, and I need you to know that I am fighting with you. You're not alone in the fight for your peace, your mind, your purpose. Every time you stood up when you wanted to collapse, I was holding you. Every time you broke down behind closed doors, I was catching your tears. I am not a distant God watching from afar. I am the God who steps into the battlefield with you, who whispers courage when your strength runs out, who lifts your head when shame tries to bury it. I fight for you because I love you. Sometimes you wonder why the breakthrough hasn't come yet, why the prayer hasn't been answered in the way you imagined. But timing isn't the only factor. Sometimes what I'm doing in you is just as important as what I'm preparing around you. I'm growing your roots so your branches can reach farther without falling. I'm building resilience so your blessing doesn't crush you. You see the weight. I see the foundation. You see delay. I see development. What I'm about to release will require the version of you that's being formed in this very process. Don't despise the waiting room. It's where transformation happens. You've become used to functioning in survival mode, always bracing for the next blow, always preparing for disappointment. But I didn't call you to just survive, I called you to thrive. I want to rewire your heart from fear to faith. I want to teach you how to walk in boldness again, to live with joy that isn't tied to circumstances. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to enjoy your life. You can laugh now. You can rest now. You can love fully, even while healing. You're not stuck, you're transitioning. And joy is allowed in the middle of the journey. You think you're behind, but you're not. You're right on schedule for the life I've designed for you. Stop comparing your process to someone else's highlight reel. Your story is sacred. Your pace is intentional. What looks like detours to you were actually the scenic route to prepare you for greater impact. I haven't forgotten your dreams. I've been nurturing them in secret, and they will bloom at the appointed time. Your steps are not random. Your prayers are not wasted. Your tears have not been ignored. I've counted them all, and I'm weaving them into something beautiful. And now, I'm inviting you to breathe differently, to walk like you're already free, to love like you're already healed, to live like you're already blessed. Because what I've spoken over you is already in motion. You're not chasing my promises, you're walking into them. You don't need to strive to be enough, you already are. I'm not waiting for you to become someone else, I'm waiting for you to see yourself as I do. Chosen, loved, worthy, mine. I know how much pressure you've been feeling, unspoken, constant, pressing against your chest like a weight no one else sees. You've been trying to hold it all together for everyone, haven't you? Smiling when you're breaking, helping when you're barely holding on, pushing through the day while something deep within begs to be acknowledged. You keep telling yourself, if I can just make it through this week, this month, this season, but you don't have to live like that. I never asked you to carry life like a burden. I called you to walk with me, side by side, not ahead of me, not behind me, together. There's no prize for pretending you're okay when you're not. I'm not moved by your performance. I'm moved by your honesty. Bring me the ache. Bring me the anxiety. Bring me the confusion. I won't be surprised, disappointed, or distant. I'll draw near, closer than your breath, and I'll remind you what's true. You are not weak because you're overwhelmed. You are not less spiritual because you feel fear. You're not faithless because you question. All of these things are part of your humanity, and I embraced your humanity long before you even realized how fragile it was. My grace is not threatened by your imperfection. Some days you wake up and wonder if any of this will ever get better, if the cycle of stress, striving, and silence will ever end. But I want you to know, you are not stuck. You are being strengthened. What feels like pressure is producing perseverance. What feels like silence is setting the stage. What feels like nothing changing is actually everything shifting on a level so deep, your eyes can't see it yet, but your spirit will soon recognize it. You may not see it, but you are growing. You may not feel it, but you are healing. You may not understand it, but you are being prepared. There is a harvest on the other side of this heaviness. Not because you've done everything perfectly, but because I am faithful. Because I honor my word. Because I don't abandon what I've begun. You will not come out of this season empty-handed. You will come out with strength, with clarity, with deeper roots, and a heart that's been made whole in places that were once cracked. You will know peace not because everything is peaceful, but because you finally know who holds your peace. I am that peace. I am the rest you've been craving. I am the calm in your chaos. I am here. Don't let fear be the narrator of your story. It's loud, persuasive, even logical at times, but it's a liar. Fear will always try to convince you that you're too late, too much, too broken, too forgotten. But I, the Lord your God, speak something different over you. You are right on time. You are chosen for more. You are held together by my love. You are the object of my attention. You are being lifted, not lost. Nothing about your life is random. I see all, I know all. And still, I love all of you. Completely. I want to show you how to live from a place of divine trust, not human tension. That means releasing your grip on what you can't control. It means surrendering your timeline, your expectations, your fears about what could go wrong. It means letting go, not into the unknown, but into my hands. Hands that form the stars, yet cradle your heart. Hands that wrote eternity, yet are extended toward you right now. I won't let you fall. You've tried doing it your way. You've tried managing every detail. Now try rest. Try surrender. Try trust. Try leaning, not leading. I will guide you. I know there are needs that feel urgent, bills that feel bigger than your income, responsibilities that keep piling up, decisions that carry weight. You keep asking, what if I fail? What if I lose it all? What if I can't handle it? But I want to shift your questions. What if I provide in unexpected ways? What if I bring peace in the middle of pressure? What if I already have the solution lined up, waiting for you to stop striving long enough to see it? I am not intimidated by your need. I am the source, not just the resource. You don't have to be guy already know. Even the moments when you feel numb, disconnected, like you're going through the motions, I'm still there. I don't withdraw when you stop feeling. I don't disappear when your fire dims. I stay. I remain. I wait. Because I know the flame returns. I know your heart will thaw. I know that even in the numbness, your spirit is still reaching for me. And I'm always responding, even in the silence. Even when all you can say is, help. That's enough. I will meet you in that whisper. You've prayed prayers with tears in your eyes that no one ever knew about. You've asked me to change things you didn't even feel brave enough to say out loud. And I heard them all. I treasured them. I responded not always in your timing, but always in my perfect wisdom. Some answers are immediate. Others are slow, because they're sacred. They need time to become what they were meant to be. And I will not rush what I am making beautiful. Let me love you beyond your productivity. Let me carry you beyond your plans. Let me teach you how to breathe when it feels like everything is closing in. I've been here the whole Timino, waiting for you to perform, but waiting for you to pause. And here in this moment, I remind you, you are not failing. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are mine. You always have been. When I look at you, I don't see failure. I don't see chaos. I don't see someone who missed their chance or lost their worth. I see someone who's still standing, even after all that tried to break you. I see the fight in your spirit, the ache to believe again, the quiet longing to rest, even if you don't know how. I see your weariness. Yes, but more than that, I see your resilience. I see someone who hasn't quit, someone who dares to hope, even after disappointment. And that hope is holy to me. That flicker inside you is not small to me. It is sacred. I want to remind you that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to understand everything that's happening to be in alignment with my will. Understanding is not a requirement for trust. In fact, real trust is forged in the fire of mystery. When you can't trace my hand but still choose to hold it, that's where miracles begin. And right now, you are in miracle territory. Not because everything feels magical, but because everything feels impossible. And that's where I do my best work. In the middle of what you think is beyond repair, beyond reason, beyond saving, I plant redemption. Let me renew your vision. You've been looking through the lens of survival, measuring progress by pain levels and timelines. But I'm calling you higher. I want you to see this moment, not as a punishment, but as preparation. I haven't delayed you to frustrate you. I've delayed what you thought you needed, because I'm protecting what you truly need. There's a difference. You prayed for open doors, and I closed some because not every door leads to peace. You prayed for favor, and I withheld some because not every opportunity carries purpose. I want to give you more than what you asked for. I want to give you what will sustain you. You've been trying to be everything for everyone, but I didn't create you to be their answer. I created you to reflect me, the answer. That's a weight off your shoulders. That's permission to rest, to say no, to create margin, to let go of what's draining you and make space for what feeds your soul. You don't have to earn rest, it is your inheritance. You don't have to prove your worth, it is already sealed. And when you begin to live from that truth, you'll find a different rhythm. Not one of rushing, but of receiving. Not one of pressure, but of peace. Yes, I see what's been taken from you. I see the closed doors, the betrayal, the losses you didn't talk about because they were too sacred to explain. I saw the moments you stayed silent just to keep peace. I saw the nights you wiped your own tears and said, "It's fine," when it wasn't. And I'm telling you, I'm redeeming it all. Not just the visible things, but the hidden places too. The internal earthquakes, the silent battles, the suppressed dreams. I'm breathing on them. I'm resurrecting what looked finished. I'm reigniting what felt buried. I am not finished writing your story. And when I restore, I don't give you back what was lost, I give you better. I upgrade peace. I refine joy. I deepen your strength. What's ahead is not a replica of what was, it's a revelation of what could only come after the refining. You may feel like something has died within you in this season, but I tell you, unless a seed falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. What died is not the end, it's the beginning of multiplication. I am using even this, the confusion, the delay, the achy, as fertilizer for your future. I haven't forgotten the promises I made you. I'm not like people who say one thing and do another. My word is bonded by eternity, and I don't back away when things look dark. I enter darkness to deliver. I enter storms to still them. I enter valleys to walk with you through them. Don't confuse delay with denial. What I said still stands. What I promised still lives. And just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's canceled. I work in the silence. I move in mystery. I manifest miracles on timelines you didn't write, but that were always mine. You've been asking me when, but I'm asking you, will you let me? Will you let me write this without rushing it? Will you let me carry the weight while you receive the wisdom? Will you let me be enough, even when your plans aren't clear? I'm not trying to take something from you, I'm trying to give something deeper to you. Endurance, awareness, joy that isn't fragile, and faith that flourishes in the dark. These are the treasures you don't lose with time. These are the foundations that storms can't shake. These are the gifts that last. You don't have to pretend to be strong in front of me. Let your guard down here. You can exhale. You can weep. You can say what you really feel. I'm not overwhelmed by your emotions. I'm not asking for performance, I'm asking for presence. I want you real, raw, and open. You don't scare me. You don't disappoint me. You are safe here. And in this safety I will build you back up, not as you were before, but stronger, freer, more aware of who you truly are in me. So let go of the lie that says you missed your moment. Let go of the fear that says you have to control everything. or it will fall apart. Let go of the shame that whispers, "You're not enough," and lean into this truth. I am enough, and I am with you, not in theory, not in metaphor, but tangibly. Right now, I'm holding you with hands that know how to rebuild. I'm healing you with a love that doesn't run dry. And I'm walking you through this, not around it, not away from it, but through it, so that when you look back, you'll say, "You never left me. Not once." You've learned how to function through exhaustion. You've mastered the art of showing up while falling apart inside. You've smiled when your heart was aching and carried burdens in silence that no one else could see. But now I am calling you into a new way, one where healing is not a reward you earn through suffering, but a gift you receive because you are mine. You were not created to live constantly on the edge of burnout, surviving on scraps of peace, rationing your joy like it might run out. You were made to overflow, to breathe deeply, to wake up and feel alive, not just available. I have watched you try to hold everything together, your responsibilities, your emotions, your relationships. But you don't have to keep proving that you can manage the weight. You were never meant to carry it alone. Let me be the one who holds it with you. Let me be the strength beneath your surface. I am not disappointed in your need, I delight in it. Because it means you're making space for me. And when you make room, I fill every hollow place with something more than relief. I bring restoration. Real, full, permanent restoration. You may not see it yet, but I've already gone ahead of you. I've stepped into the days you haven't lived and the battles you haven't faced. I've placed provision where you thought you'd face lack. I've aligned divine connections where you assumed isolation. I've made a path in the wilderness, even though all you see right now is dust. You don't have to know every step. I'm not asking you to be the architect. I'm asking you to trust the one who already designed the way. I lead with love, not pressure. I invite with peace, not fear. The parts of your story that felt like interruptions, those weren't accidents. The delays, the sudden stops, the losses, they're not wasted. I use detours to teach you what straight paths never could. I use closed doors to protect your destiny. I use silence to strengthen your discernment. And I use waiting seasons to refine your faith. This is not punishment. It's positioning. I'm not pushing you back, I'm setting you up. I'm reworking what you thought was ruined. I'm recalibrating your heart to match my rhythm. It's not slower, it's deeper. Not delayed, it's being developed in layers you can't see yet. You've cried out, "Lord, where is the breakthrough?" And I've answered, not with noise, but with stillness. Because your breakthrough won't come with chaos, it will come with clarity. Not from striving, but from surrender. You're not waiting for something outside of you to change. You're being transformed so you can receive it when it comes. That's the shift. That's the miracle in motion. You're becoming the kind of person who can hold the promise without it crushing you. You're being prepared to carry peace, not just wish for it. I see the war inside your mind, the thoughts that spiral, the doubts that echo, the fear that quietly whispers, "What if this is as good as it gets?" And I silence that fear right now. I override that lie with my truth. This is not the end. You are not stuck. Your life is not a loop of pain. What I have planned for you does not expire, and it doesn't depend on perfection. My grace doesn't consult your performance. My love doesn't check your track record. I give not based on what you've earned, but on who you are to me, and you are my beloved. There is no formula you have to master to be worthy of my help. No ritual you must complete to earn my attention. I am already here, fully present, fully willing, fully committed to your good. You don't have to beg me to move. I'm already in motion. The moment you lifted that silent prayer, the moment you sighed when you couldn't find the words, the moment your heart said, "God, please," I was already responding. Heaven doesn't need paragraphs to act. A whisper is enough. A tear is enough. A breath that reaches for me is enough. This week, I'm showing you evidence of what's been working beneath the surface. Answers you didn't know were on their way. Peace that interrupts panic. Provision that arrives just in time. Unexpected joy. Divine timing. Conversations that unlock healing. Encounters that realign your path. You won't have to force it, it will flow. You won't have to chase it, it will find you. I'm orchestrating this not to impress you, but to assure you. I see you. I'm with you. I'm for you. And I'm faithful to complete what I started. So release the need to control the pace. Let go of the obsession with how it will happen. I didn't ask you to figure it out, I asked you to follow. And where I lead, there is life. Where I step, chains break. Where I speak, fear flees. Let your next breath be filled with trust. Let your next thought be soaked in hope. You are not failing, you are forming. You are not lost, you are being led. You are not abandoned, you are being wrapped in grace. You are allowed to rest while I work. You are allowed to exhale while I orchestrate. You are allowed to enjoy today, even while you wait for tomorrow. Let go of the guilt that says you must always hustle. Let go of the mindset that says struggle equals progress. I'm not interested in wearing you out, I'm interested in building you up. And I do it gently, intentionally, and completely. You don't have to worry about what's next when you walk with the one who writes the future. Now inhale deeply. Let my peace settle in. Let your soul receive without resistance. Let your heart soften without explanation. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where I need you to be for what's coming next. And I promise you, what's coming is not disappointment. What's coming is glory. What's coming is redemption. What's coming is closer than ever. You've learned to walk even with unanswered questions. You've prayed with trembling hands, praised with a heavy heart, and dared to hope again after disappointment. And I have seen it all. Not one moment of your faith has gone unnoticed. Not one seed of trust has failed to take root. Even when it felt like nothing was happening, something eternal was being built inside you. Because faith is not proven in the victory, it's proven in the waiting, in the choosing to believe when everything around you screams, give up. You've wondered if it matters. If your prayers, your efforts, your quiet obedience, if any of it changes anything. And my answer is yes. It changes everything. It shifts atmospheres. It moves mountains. It invites me into places the enemy hoped to occupy. Your smallest yes carries more weight than you realized. The moment you resisted the lie, chose to worship through the ache, or forgave when it felt impossible, you advanced the kingdom. You declared God is still good, even when your story wasn't tied up with a bow. That kind of faith rewrites destinies. And it's that kind of faith I've seen in you. You've looked for signs and confirmation that I'm really near, that I haven't gone silent. And while I often speak in stillness, I am also the God of evidence. I will not leave you wandering in confusion. I will not let your trust go unrewarded. I am sending clarity. I am sending peace that doesn't need proof to settle in your spirit. I'm aligning divine encounters, people, words, moments that will confirm what I've whispered to you in the secret place. Not because you need them to believe, but because I love to reassure my children. This week holds more than you expect. It carries the residue of every tear you've cried, every moment you chose faith over fear, and every sacrifice you made in silence. I am gathering all of it, not one piece wasted, and I'm turning it into blessing. You will see harvest where you only saw barren ground. You will feel joy in the places where sorrow once lived. I am shifting the atmosphere of your life. The weight is lifting, not because circumstances changed, but because my presence is invading every part of your heart. And in my presence, there is always fullness. Let me speak directly to that part of you that still doubts. I know it's hard to trust again. I know how deeply the wounds go. I saw the moment your hope was shattered. I felt the breath you lost when you thought everything was falling apart. But I was never far. I was in the fragments. I was in the in-between. I was collecting every piece with care, already knowing how I'd rebuild you stronger. And now, I am restoring not just what you lost, but the part of you that stopped believing restoration was possible. You don't have to explain why it still hurts. I already understand. You don't have to hide the questions you're too afraid to say aloud. I've already heard them. I don't flinch at your doubt. I don't withdraw from your fear. I draw nearer, because this relationship was never based on your strength. It was built on my commitment. My love for you doesn't rise and fall based on your ability to stay hopeful. I love you in the middle of your breakdown. I love you when your faith is flickering. I love you when you're tired, worn out, and unsure of how to take another step. This is not the end of your story. This is the page where the turning point begins. The chapter where hope starts to breathe again. The moment when you realize that even your lowest place wasn't too low for my reach. I specialize in resurrection. I bring beauty from ashes, light from shadows, purpose from pain. There is no part of you that is beyond redemption, and there is no part of your life that I cannot use for glory. Even the scars will shine. I'm doing more than answering your prayers. I'm transforming the one who prayed them. You thought you were asking for outcomes, but I've been shaping identity. You thought you were seeking change, but I've been preparing you for inheritance. What's ahead will not be a repetition of what was. This isn't a cycle, it's a crossing over. You are stepping into newness, not just externally, but internally. A new way of thinking, a new depth of trust, a new intimacy with me that makes the old fears lose their grip entirely. There will be laughter where there was silence, dance where there was mourning, light where there was confusion, and it won't be temporary, it will be rooted, anchored in me. You won't have to chase moments of peace. You'll carry peace with you, because it will live inside your renewed heart. This is the fruit of your persistence, the reward of your long nights, the answer to the cry that no one else heard. I did, and I'm still listening, still moving, still making a way that is far better than what you imagined. So don't be afraid to believe again. Don't be afraid to hope big, love deeply, or live fully. You've been prepared for this. You're not the same person who started this journey. You've grown, stretched, matured. You've walked through fire and come out refined. And now, you are ready to receive what I've held in my hands all along. Not just blessing, but a new beginning. Not just survival, but abundance. Not just glimpses of joy, but the ability to live in it freely. Stay soft. Stay expectant. Stay connected to me. Don't let the noise distract you from the quiet miracle forming. Don't let the fear of getting hurt again rob you of the healing already happening. I am not repeating old patterns. I am writing a new song, and your name is woven into every lyric. A song of grace, of breakthrough, of testimony. You will sing it not because everything went according to your plan, but because everything fell into place according to mine. You didn't come this far just to be left wondering if you're still held. You didn't endure this long just to question whether I'm still working. Everything in you has been refined, not broken. You are not behind. You are right where transformation happens, in the place where surrender and strength meet. And here, in this sacred intersection, I am doing my most beautiful work. Not just in the visible outcomes, but in the invisible shifts of your spirit. You've become more compassionate, more discerning, more grounded. That is no small victory. I see the moments when you silently encourage others even while waiting for your own miracle. I notice the way you keep choosing kindness, choosing hope, choosing me when it would be easier to give up. This, my child, is what greatness looks like in heaven. It's not in applause or accolades. It's in faithfulness. It's in the heart that keeps returning to me when the answers don't come quickly. That keeps believing when it would be easier to numb or run. And that is what I bless, not perfection, but presence. Your presence before me has moved mountains you don't even know existed. There are blessings on the way that don't require you to earn them, strive for them, or prove anything. They're simply part of my promise. Not because you figured everything out, but because I never stopped seeing you as worthy. You've asked, what if I miss it? But how can you miss something I placed on your path? What I have for you has your name on it. What I release will find you. Not because of your strength, but because of my faithfulness. What's meant for you will not be delayed any longer. It's already in motion. I'm healing the places in you that have been at war with each other. The part that wants to move forward, and the part still holding on to yesterday. The part that trusts, and the part that fears. The part that says yes, and the part that still flinches. I'm not asking you to deny these places. I'm asking you to bring them to me, because I can only heal what you place in my hands. I can only restore what you let me touch. And nothing in you is off limits to know your doubt, not your shame, not your fatigue. I want all of it. I want all of you. This life you're stepping into, it's not just a destination. It's a relationship, a rhythm, a daily communion with me that doesn't depend on circumstances. You'll wake up and recognize my voice more clearly. You'll make decisions without fear. You'll see opportunities open that you didn't chase because they were designed for your obedient heart. This isn't random favor. It's the result of walking with me, trusting me, even when your surroundings didn't reflect your prayers. That kind of trust anchors you for everything that's ahead. I'm redeeming the waiting. Every delay, every closed door, every lonely night, it's all being turned into foundation. Solid ground for you to walk on. You've asked for elevation, and now I'm answering. But not without roots. I've rooted you in compassion so you don't forget others on the rise. I've rooted you in humility so you stay teachable. I've rooted you in grace so you can walk confidently without arrogance. I've prepared you for favor that won't crush you, but elevate others through you. And yes, I'm restoring relationships too. Not all of them will return, but the ones that do will be healed. The ones I bring back will be marked by growth, not guilt, by unity, not codependency. I'm weaving hearts back together not through manipulation, but through maturity. You've changed, and so will the way you love. You will no longer tolerate what diminishes you, but you will also carry mercy for those who are still learning how to love well. That is the power of healing it. Make space for both boundaries and compassion. You've also carried dreams you've been too afraid to speak out loud. Dreams you buried because of timing, rejection, or discouragement. But I never forgot them. I planted them. And seeds don't die in darkness, they grow. Those dreams are sprouting now. Not all at once, but intentionally. I'm awakening creativity, courage, vision. I'm placing new ideas in your spirit. And they will be anointed not just good ideas, but God ideas. Solutions, art, ministry, business, healing. Don't dismiss what keeps stirring in your heart. That's me. I am not only the God of rescue, I'm the God of release. And this is your release moment. From shame, from fear, from unworthiness, from cycles of defeat, from the past. I'm cutting ties with what held you back. And I'm handing you keys. Keys to doors that no man can shut. Keys to peace that passes understanding. Keys to identity that no lie can steal. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are a carrier of my presence. And where my spirit is, there is freedom. You may feel quiet inside right now. That's okay. Some of the most powerful shifts happen in silence. But listen closely. The silence is not absence. It's incubation. I am birthing something new in you. Something holy, something wild and bold and full of grace. You don't have to force it. Just receive it. Stay close. Breathe deeply. Keep your eyes on me, not on the timing. Keep your hands open, not clenched in control. Keep your spirit soft, not guarded in fear. I am not asking you to perform, I'm asking you to trust. And now, let me leave this truth branded on your heart. I never left. I never stopped loving you. I never changed my mind about you. And I never will. You are still my chosen one. Still my delight. Still the one I pursue with relentless affection. I am not finished.